This is the gorgeous backdrop of San Diego for the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. We do expect a couple of high-flying offenses here as the Big 12 collides with the Pac-10. Oklahoma State and Oregon, each team comes in averaging 42 points per game. Each team has scored 65 touchdowns. Oregon won the toss, deferred to the second half, and Oklahoma State will get the football to begin this game. Ducks in their all-black unis with the green helmets. Oklahoma State in all white, and Matt Evenson to kick it off for Oregon. Victor Johnson and Parrish Cox, who's a dangerous return man, are back for the Pokes. It's Mike Gundy's offense that'll get a first crack at making a statement, and we expect it's going to be a real high-scoring game. And Parrish Cox puts his knee down, and the Pokes will start at the 20-yard line behind that man, Zach Robinson, the junior quarterback, excellent runner and thrower.
You know what, and he really compliments his coach well, because his coach has been on this field before. He's played here. He's been in this game. So the communication that they have between themselves, Jesse, is really outstanding. I think it's one of the reasons Zach has flourished so well.
Well, and he's flourished, but he's gotten better as the season's gone on. We talked to Mike Gundy this week. He said the best game Zach Robinson played was against Oklahoma in the regular season finale, but you're going to see one of the true dual-threat quarterbacks here tonight in Zach Robinson.
And it's very tough to stop Robinson as a runner and a passer and all the weapons that Oklahoma State has. We'll give you a taste of that as the game unfolds. Marcus Connor in motion. This is Kendall Hunter, the sophomore tailback. He's a very shifty, speedy guy, but Oregon stops him for a loss.
This Oregon defense really believes that they have an edge here because they see a lot of open space play against their own team, and that it's very good at playing in space.
And this is something that's going to be critical all game long. Oregon has to win on first down. That's something Nicolati, their defensive coordinator, wants to do each and every drive. He wants to set Oklahoma State up in long-to-go situations on second down.
Run kind of a fast break offense. They almost never huddle. Come up to the line, and the players will look to the signal boards and the sidelines to get the play. This is the first throw, and Des Bryant, dangerous All-American, makes the catch and gets a first down across the 30.
Well, and Oregon also said, if we don't stop Des Bryant, we probably don't win this football game. This is a game, too, of traction tonight. So we'll be watching. You see the little slip right there. All the players on both teams trying to figure out what cleats to wear.
Boy, Jarris Bird looked like he was on ice trying to backpedal and then come back up and cover Bryant. Those are the signs we talked about. Those symbols mean something, and most of them don't matter, but the players know which box to look at. Robinson to Bryant again on the left side. Gets a block and slips out across the 40. So already 2 catches for the All-American.
And Mike Gundy doing a really good job right now in play calling, getting his big playmaker at wide receiver the football. Des Bryant, first-team All-American, over 1,300 yards receiving this year so far. We're not expecting Oregon at all to single cover him at any point in this football game, but still, Mike Gundy finding ways to get him the ball.
This is Hunter up the middle. Kendall Hunter breaks a tackle and gets into Oregon territory. He's only about 5'7", 5'8", but he's a thick guy. He's from Earl Campbell's hometown of Tyler, Texas.
The Tyler Rose. How many backs have we seen this year in low stature that have the strength and the tackling is terrible because they're tackling too high and the runners get right beyond them?
The amazing thing to me about Kendall Hunter is how he can make people miss.
Turn it out! On the option, Robinson keeps it and picks up about 8. We're already seeing the taste of the diversity of this attack.
Well, and you see the speed and how they're able to get up to the line of scrimmage and get going right away. It does not take them a lot of time to get set. Oregon has to make sure they get the defensive play call in early, get lined up, find out where Oklahoma State's lined up, get matched up, because you cannot take a second off against this fast tempo offense at Oklahoma State.
Second and 2. They fake it to Hunter and find Bryant for a third time. This time, there are more Duck defenders than blockers out there, but he does get the first down. All right, Bob, welcome. We're in the middle of the opening drive for Oklahoma State. What we expect will be a very high-scoring game. Craig James, Jesse Palmer, Aaron Andrews alongside. Just a perfect day here in San Diego. Oregon won the toss deferred. The Cowboys took the ball at their 20. Already the All-American receiver Des Bryant has 3 catches. moved the ball 48 yards in the first 6 plays. This is the tailback, Kendall Hunter. Slips a bit, nowhere to run, and he's dropped for a loss. All the experts saying this might be the highest scoring bowl game in all of bowl season, even higher scoring than the Gators and the Sooners. Both defensive coaching brain trusts just felt like if we can get a stop or two, a turnover maybe, that might be enough to win it.
And right now, so far in this game, Oregon's defense out there trying to prolong a drive, make the offense go 8, 10, 12, because they figure they'll mess up at some point.
But it's been the usual suspects so far for Oklahoma State. We've seen Zach Robinson, Kendall Hunter, Des Bryant all get touches, and they're playing very, very at a high tempo right now.
This is Hunter on the option pitch from Robinson, and he'll be stopped after about a 5-yard gain. No fumble. The Big Ten crew ruling the ball down. So this is the closest that Oregon's come to stopping Zach Robinson, the junior out of Littleton, Colorado, who's very dangerous runner. Legitimate speed, not just a scrambler, but a guy who can take it the distance as a runner.
And one of the true dual threat quarterbacks in all of college football. You see the numbers there. He's thrown for over 2,700 yards. He's run for over 500 yards. They're going to need Zach Robinson to run the football well tonight to have success and to get this win in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
He needs 6 yards here on 3rd down. Oregon has struggled all year as a defense getting people off of the field. Robinson looks left, fires downfield, and overthrows Keith Huston, the running back. And Oregon does what their coaches hope they would do. A stop.
A stop is a stop, and they try to get 8 throughout the course of the football game. You know, this is the deal where you've got a defense out there. You know, when you look at them on defense, they're going to come with 4, but 49% of the time, Oak State says they come with 5. So they bring a linebacker and safety and try to confuse you. That time they drop 7 in coverage.
Dan Bailey, very solid kicker. You can see the stats. He's made 9 in a row. And this from 45 yards. He sneaks it through the left upright. So the Cowboys take it from their 20 into Oregon territory. The drive stalls, but they get on the board first. 3-0 early in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. One of the most desirable destinations in all of bowl week. Just a beautiful week of weather out here. Lots of orange and black, lots of yellow and green. Near sellout here in Qualcomm Stadium. Oklahoma State, 10 plays, 52 yards in the opening drive, and a Bailey field goal. He'll now kick off. So Walter Thurman, Jameer Holland. Turner to have a chance. And leaps across the 25-yard line, and that's where the Ducks will take over. Both these offenses averaging 42 points per game. They're all in the top 8 in rushing, total yards, and points. Each team has scored 65 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, you think about this. This is an Oregon football team that just last November, we did the game on a Thursday night. They're playing for a chance to play for the national championship. They lose their quarterback. They had to find one for this season, and Masoli stepped up, and he's doing a great job for them.
Jeremiah Masoli, the sophomore out of San Francisco, a junior college transfer, is throwing. It's a lateral on the first play. Pitch back to Masoli. It looks downfield, and it's caught. Jameer Holland makes the catch down inside the 30. So it's Oregon with the first trick play, and we expect maybe a bunch tonight.
We talked to Chip Kelly this week, and he told us that they were going to unload the toolbox for this football game. All types of trickeration. You were going to see everything. Watch right here, Craig.
And you know what? What you usually see out of Oregon is a football team. Jeffrey Mayle, he gets the reverse, pitches it back to Masoli, who throws it deep down the field. Normally, it's the ground game with a big explosion, but they will have a lot of trick plays and different looks.
Now they hand it to Terrence Scott on the sweep, and he picks his way for a short gain. How about that, making a statement the very first offensive play? There are lots of impact players on the field, and Ducks have their share as well. We talked about, the running backs. Johnson's a good one.
Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson is a threat to score every time he touches the football. He put his great speed on display against Oregon State. 219 yards in that game.
How about the center, Max Unger? Got to give the big ones up front a little love. I think this is a very underrated offensive line.
And Blunt, a 230-pounder, native of Florida. He's a physical back. We'll see him as well. This is Mayle. He's corralled after a very short gain of the 25. It'll set up 3rd and long.
know, it's interesting.
More in the stop.
We talked about this great running attack and the spread option offense of Chip Kelly in Oregon. But one thing that's interesting, too, is you're going to see a lot of the receivers carry the football tonight. It's not just Jeremiah Johnson, LeGarrette Blount, and Jeremiah Mazzoli. We saw in the second play, Terrence Scott on the reverse. It helps keep defenses on their heels.
Chip Kelly is the designated next coach following Mike Bellotti. Within perhaps a couple of years, Mazzoli is pressured and sacked on third down. Patrick Lamine came in on the blitz.
Linebacker coming, Levine, he's coming from the overside here. You'll see him when he gets in. You just don't account for him. I just praise the offensive line, and dadgummit, Jesse, look what they do. They unaccount for
And
the
it's
guy.
amazing because coming into this game, Oklahoma State had only registered 13 sacks. That was ranked 108th in the country, but right away you see pressure coming from the second level, getting after Jeremiah Mazzoli, pushing Oregon out of field goal range.
So confusion there. Johnson wasn't sure who to block. There were two guys on his side, so just Cyree will try to pin Oklahoma State deep. Each defense able to make a big play. Good job. Cyree knocking it dead at the 1. It was Mail down there covering the ball. Oaks will take over there. You know, Mike Gundy really felt like this team kind of outperformed his expectations. They were unranked in the preseason. Many people thought they were a year away from being this good. They beat Missouri on the road when the Tigers were ranked in the top 10. Played Texas very tough in Austin. They were really in every game except this one in Lubbock. Texas Tech just mugged them. They gave the Sooners all they could handle. That score is misleading. Sooners pulled away late, but 9-3, a chance at a 10-win season, perhaps a top 10 finish. And sophomores are really the stars of this offense.
It's amazing, really. 3 losses in the conference, never to a team though worse in the top 3 in the AP poll.
Robinson has it in the end zone, fires a short completion out across the 10-yard line to Brandon Pettigrew. He's a weapon we haven't talked about yet, but a big 260-pound tight end that the scouts love.
He is really big and he's athletic. He's a really good blocker, but when he comes across the field, like right there, he's the number 2 guy in that route, and he gives that option and that confidence and the cushion for Robinson.
Pettigrew, guys, still looking for his first touchdown catch this season. He's missed 3 games with a high ankle sprain. Been very productive, but would love to get in the end zone tonight. Robinson keeps it. Quarterback trying to get the edge, but a good job flying up by T.J. Ward to stop him for a short gain. The impact players for the Cowboys offense.
Well, we'll start with Kendall Hunter. 9 100-yard games in the Big 12 this year. That was almost twice as many as any other Big 12 running back. Because of that, he's a first-team All-American.
Well, how about we start with Des Bryant? 109 yards a game, receiving 3rd best in the NCAA. He's a beast with the ball.
You've just seen Pettigrew. He had 36 catches this season. Averages 12 a catch. He's the guy that was effective against Oklahoma. This is the pitch to Keith Poston. And the backup running back for Oklahoma State shows why he's such a good downhill runner.
Well, and that's the problem when you're facing this Oklahoma State offense, because all of a sudden Kendall Hunter comes out of the game, and as a defense, you take a step back and say, oh, okay, we can finally corral this backup, whoever it is. Keith Poston's averaging 7 yards a carry.
Watch on the far left side, number 80, DeMarcus Conner, the receiver. They pinned Oregon's pursuit defense from the inside out. That's teamwork. That's how big plays like that occur.
6 plays of 10-plus yards already in the first quarter for Gundy's offense. Play action, Robinson looking deep over the middle. It's Pettigrew who makes the catch. Big hit immediately by Patrick Chung, the Rover, but a nice gain.
Brandon Pettigrew really has come on here late in the season. The beginning of the year, in the first 7 games, he only had 11 catches. He had 5 in the next, or 25 in the next 5 games. You just see the big target and the confidence Zach Robinson has delivering him the football.
Well, he knew where the ball was supposed to go to, right? Robinson put the football where the opening was, and Pettigrew kept going to the spot.
Empty backfield. Toston was in the slot. Now he'll motion back to the left of Robinson. They fake it to him. He fires far side, complete. And that's Bryant, already 4 catches. Short gain there to midfield as we check in with Aaron Andrews on the field.
Hey, Chris, a couple of Cowboy players have been coming on and off the field complaining about slipping, as you mentioned up there in the booth. Now, within 7 days, 3 games have been played on this field. The Poinsettia Bowl, the Chargers played here on Sunday night, and of course tonight. a lot of the players had talked to me about this yesterday at the luncheon, said it was just something that they knew was going to happen. They'd have to get over with. Both these teams play on field turf. Oklahoma State training staff told me basically what they're doing, longer cleats to the skilled players right now.
Yeah, it's a very different feel outside the numbers. As we see Robinson slip as he sets up and overthrows right on cue. Problems with the footing. They resided the center part, but it's a very different feel outside the numbers.
It is. It's a different feel, but I think, you know what, as a football player, they've been out here and they've been working on trying to get their traction. You plant your foot, you got to be better. On a field turf, Jesse, he'd have gotten away with that. But when you get wide splits like that, you can't.
When you're playing on bad footing as a quarterback, it is paramount that you're conscious that you keep your feet underneath you so that you're able to push off that drive leg to get velocity on the football when throwing it downfield.
Good point, by the way. That was Nick Reed, the sack master, who was pressuring Robinson on that throw. Sets up a 3rd and 6. On the sideline, it's Bryant for a first down at the 41 in front of Walter Thurman.
You get single coverage on the outside with Des Bryant. With Zach Robinson getting protection, he's going to deliver the football. Look at the drive up the field. Watch his footwork. Making sure that he gets out with the ball. How about Robinson throwing the ball? Then getting him right back to the line of scrimmage, ready to go.
This is toasted. Picks his way for about 7. Bryant just has enormous hands. You can shake his hands. He's a guy with great hops. He can throw the football. Whatever athletically you throw at him, he can handle with ease.
And he reminds me a lot of Terrell Owens when he has the football, because when he has it in open space, he runs like he's angry. He looks like he's mad running with the football. When you get a chance to watch him tonight in space, you'll see the way he runs. It's unbelievable. There's a reason this guy scored 18 touchdowns this year receiving.
This is Kendall Hunter down here in the slot, or I should say the far right of the formation, a little bit of a wrinkle. And now they'll take a timeout. Some confusion with that little offensive formation. So midway in the first quarter, Oklahoma State marching already up 3.
Hi, everybody. Nice to
Kermit,
see you.
the Grand Marshal of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl Parade, and our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Happy holidays from above. Beautiful night for flying above Qualcomm Stadium. Oklahoma State's offense impressive. A field goal in their first possession, and now marching from their 1 to the Oregon 34, where they face a 2nd and 3. This is a fake to Kendall Hunter. Robinson has it. He's pushed out at the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down. As we check back with Reese Davis in the studio.
All right, Chris, got a terrific Big Ten basketball opener going on ESPN2 right now. Illinois on the road against number 11 Purdue, up 47-46. Big Mike Tisdale with 16 points for the Illini. They're tending to Chris Kramer, the Purdue guard. Just got nicked up a little bit. 5.5 to go. The Illini up by 1.
Reese, thank you. So Pokes get a first down at the 30. Impressive, averaging 7 yards a play. First quarter. Option look. Let's do a good job of stringing it out, and about a 4-yard loss. It was T.J. Ward combining with Casey Matthews, the middle linebacker.
Don't you think, Jesse, that at some point here that when you work the perimeter with the grass conditions like they are and it's slippery on the outside, that you've got to really figure out just how much you can attack the outside?
Absolutely, especially considering the problem with spread offense for opposing defenses is that it sets up skill players with the football in space, where oftentimes there's only one guy that can make the tackle. If he doesn't, they're touchdowns. So you're right, the field conditions make this way tougher for both defenses in this football game.
On 2nd and 13, Robinson fires over the middle, complete. And keeping his feet and reaching the end zone is Des Bryant. He beat Walter Thurman. Only had 1 touchdown this season away from Boone Pickett Stadium until that one right there. Who says he can't play away from home?
I think he adopted San Diego for this trip here this weekend. But there's guarantee here. If you look, you're going to try to find somebody in the middle of the field. There's no way you can leave the middle of the field open against Des Bryant. One-on-one can't work.
Well, and Zach Robinson will take advantage of that every single time. And you see the hand strength from Des Bryant catching it and the great balance to keep his feet, make his way into the end zone.
Bryant already 6 catches for 74 yards. That was a 33-yard touchdown. Bailey tacks on the point. A 99-yard touchdown drive for Oklahoma State. The favorites in this game out of the Big 12 jump to a 10-point first quarter lead. Here at the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, a fast start for Oklahoma State. Took the opening kickoff, moves to a field goal, got pinned to their 1-yard line, went 99 yards for a touch. And Des Bryant, you just had a feeling from the way he was so pumped up in the warm-up. Came over to visit with us, got scolded by a coach representing the 936. That's a Texas area code.
East Texas area code, Lufkin, Texas. I said, hey, I'm from Alto, Texas, which is a podunk place. He goes, you're kidding.
But you had a feeling he was inspired for this game. He really was ready to go tonight. This is Thurman, who just got beaten for the touchdown, trying to redeem himself with a big play, but he's dropped short of the 25 by Seth Clements on the coverage. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow night. 3 games actually beginning at noon tomorrow. Houston and Air Force, the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl. BC and Vanderbilt right in Music City at 3:30 Eastern, and then LSU Georgia Tech in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Interesting game there.
Well, who wants to play against Paul Johnson and that spread option or that option offense right now? We had a chance to watch them live. 3rd best rushing offense right now in the country.
You know, if they got a shot to beat Georgia and LSU at the end of the season, how about that for a finish?
They hung 45 points on Georgia.
This is Jeremiah Johnson who takes the handoff. Johnson breaking tackles, looking for a big play. Jeremiah Johnson, he has a caravan down the sideline. Touchdown. And that is an answer. 76 yards, 1 play, touchdown drive. Just like against Oregon State, he had 2 huge runs in the Beavers as they went to Reser Stadium and crushed their arch rivals' dreams.
He had runs of 79 yards and 83 yards in that football game, and the reason why is because the speed and the great job that Oregon does blocking downfield.
Morgan Flint, who was perfect. 7 for 7 field goals, 22 for 22 PATs. He took over for Matt Evenson mid-season. And the Ducks, that's about as quickly and effectively as you can answer after Oklahoma State's impressive drive.
Well, whatever cleats Jeremiah Johnson has on, he's got the right shoes in the bottom. He needs to go consult the rest of his teammates. This is outstanding cutting and great blocking down the field by his teammates. Everybody on Oregon's offense did their job that time.
At Oklahoma State University, we create solutions to the world's most pressing problems. We're testing alternative fuel sources, developing sophisticated sensors, and designing body armor that protects our soldiers. Creativity is a tradition at OSU. From an alum who invented the world's first personal computer to faculty who performs with the Boston Symphony.
You know the cool thing about having an O for a symbol? You learn to see endless potential everywhere you go. The University of Oregon.
Jeremiah Johnson thanking his blockers for jobs well done. 76-yard touchdown. Even Masoli, the quarterback number 2, was out there leading the way.
Go ahead, Jesse, as a quarterback. You talk about that.
Well, he's trying to get a look here. He can't find anybody, so he decides to peel back. The problem is he peels back on middle linebacker Hori Lemon, who just drives him, but you love the effort from your quarterback.
There's Mayle and Jason Williams also doing their jobs downfield. So the kick is taken by Parrish Cox. Very dangerous return man. A couple of touchdowns this season, and Cox is into Oregon territory. Evenson, the kicker, had to make the stop. 43-yard return.
You know, as a player, you figure out how to make the cuts out there. Masoli and these guys, they're all talking about, hey, what are you doing? You can't cut on your heels. The kick return right there, great kick return because you stayed out over the toes. You know what I'm talking about? Your shoulder pads are out there over the front of your feet. If you get on your heels, you're going to slip on this turf.
What's amazing is the back and forth approach of this game right now. We see a big touchdown from Des Bryant. They answer right away. Jeremiah Johnson, now a huge return from Parrish Cox, and here they are right again. Oklahoma State knocking on the door back in Oregon territory.
The Ducks defenders, Reed in particular, said they were very offended by all the talk of a shootout. Well, this is why there was a lot of talk about it, because it's tough to stop both these offenses. They said nothing was mentioned, but for 3 weeks they've heard the talk, and it was big motivation. But they've had trouble tonight already.
Well, they have, but what I think is interesting is we talked to both teams and their players and their coaching staff and said, what do you think about the other team's offense? Are you worried about that? And they said no, because they remind us of our own offense, what we see in the offseason. So our guys aren't intimidated. We're going to come out and play.
You saw a shot of Reed there, Walter Camp All-American, also an academic All-American, playing his final college game. Needs 2 sacks to equal Jerry Hughes of TCU. He's got 15 in the season, the national leader. Robinson on play action. Has a man wide open downfield. Breaks it off for Bryant at the 35, but he had a touchdown if he just looked up, because Bo Dowling was completely uncovered downfield.
But one of the challenges for Robinson now, I'm going to try to defend him a little bit here, because it was wide open deep down the field. See that? Wide open. But Robinson was scrambling, running to the right. Now, that's a long throw when you're running to the right.
It's a good example, though, sometimes of quarterbacks locking into a receiver instead of just looking at the defense. He was supposed to go to Des Bryant with that football, but the look the defense gave him was a home run, and he'll have that told to him by Mike Gundy when he goes to the sideline.
Bo Dowling said, hey, Zach, I know I only got 9 catches all year, but I was open, man.
They get 10.
Robinson, another play action, looking downfield again. This time it is Dowling. And not a wide open touchdown, but a catch down inside the 10. So he doesn't hit him for 6, but goes right back to him, and he was open there too.
And you're seeing the balance in this offense. Because they're able to run the football so well, it sets up the play-action passing game. It allows this offense to stretch the football down the field vertically.
But I just don't like Oregon's defense when I watch them on film. When they only rush 4, they get in trouble. It's not like they've got great guys back there making ball hawk steals. You know, they've got to mix it up, bring 5 or 6. Or Zach Robinson's telling them right now, fellas, you give me time to throw it, I'm going to find my receiver.
2 tight end look for the Pokes, 1st and goal. They've not been the greatest 1st and goal team. For all these weapons, they're very low touchdown percentage on goal to go. They throw the fade to Bryant. Single coverage over there from Thurman, but it was thrown way outside. Just 21 touchdowns out of 32 1st and goal situations. Not very good.
And this is one of those games where points are going to count, and not just field goals. When you get down in these situations where you can score in the red zone, you have to capitalize and score touchdowns. With both of these prolific offenses pitted against one another, you want the scoreboard to keep dialing up. You better score touchdowns. If you kick field goals, I don't think it's going to be enough to win this game.
Yeah, and Gundy told us there've been a lot of late nights trying to figure out what to do better down here in these goal-to-go situations. They kind of address the weaknesses and maybe tweak some personnel and some looks now. He hinted that might be the case. 2 tight ends. Robinson keeps it, finds a little crease, and ducks down to the 3. So that is a different look. Going to the 2 tight end down in close. Try to get a more power look.
And that's what they're lacking. They don't have that big bruising fullback. Gundy said, you know, we don't have a guy that can get really big and strong up in there, go traditional. And they're lacking that. So they're going to try to tweak a few things here in this football game, see if they can score.
See those signs over there? GM 5603. Pound sign 12.
Some of those symbols are live and some of them are completely not, but all 11 players, including the offensive lineman, have to look back at him.
There's your fullback.
Right now.
There's your fullback. But he's not a big guy.
No, he motions out. Little option look. Robinson still has it. Now pitches to Hunter, who dives for the pylon. Touchdown. Goal to go, problem solved. Does he get an option look down there at 24? Just gets it across the goal line.
It was such a great job of patience by Zach Robinson on the option, stretching the defense, holding on to the football until the very last second. You're going to see him reverse pivot and just stretch laterally down the line of scrimmage until he's forced a commitment from Patrick Chung, the safety, the rover, before pitching it out.
Kendall Hunter's 15th rushing touchdown this season. Already the Pokes have 10 plays of 10 or more yards. 3 possessions, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. The lead is once again 10 points. So the Ducks answer with that one play touchdown drive, the run from Johnson. There's going to be a lot of answering tonight, or at least the need to answer for Bellotti. I think he thought his defense might struggle, but I don't know if he expected this.
You know what? And nowadays, what is struggling? You know, is that 60 or is it 50? Is it 40? I mean, nowadays with offenses you go against, you have to wonder, and you have to make sure that you don't get discouraged. As a football team, you have to accept. I say that. It's kind of strange. You have to accept the fact that your opponent is usually pretty good, and they may score a lot of points on you.
The Big 12 South offensive numbers were, I think, one of the stories of the season. This is the first of the 4 teams out of that division playing in bowl games. We're eager to see how Oklahoma State, how Texas Tech will do against Ole Miss, Texas against Ohio State, of course, the Sooners against the Gators.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking to Glenn Spencer, the acting defensive coordinator tonight for Oklahoma State. He said the game's just changing with spread offense. There used to be a time when if you held an offense to under 300 yards, you're pumping your fist. Yeah. These days, you hold them to 450, you're looking over across the sideline, 2 hands in the air because you've done something good. It's unbelievable.
We wonder what it might take to win this game, 40, 45, more?
60 minutes, I know that.
99 yards offense in the first quarter. Cowboys in those 3 possessions. This is Thurman. Hurdles one man, maintains his feet, and after Thurman dancing out across the 30-yard line. Ducks had a loss at home early to Boise State. They started the season number 21, but again, it was supposed to be Nate Costa's year at quarterback. He hurt himself before this season. Roper got hurt against Purdue. Masoli was knocked out against Boise State. They got blown out by USC. That's the one game where they really had no excuses. They got manhandled in the Coliseum, but they won 5 out of the last 6, including winning the highest scoring Civil War in history, put 65 on the Beavers in that game.
That surprised me. I don't know about you guys, but the way they beat Oregon State in Corvallis, that surprised me with all that was on the line for Oregon State.
694 yards of total offense in that game.
Right. Jacquizz Rodgers didn't play for the Beavers, but he wouldn't have played defense anyway. On the end around, they hand it off to Holland, and he's out near the 40-yard line.
It really is, though, in my opinion, Jeremiah Masoli, when he started getting it going and making plays with his legs and throwing the ball, and that added threat, the consistency, gave him that edge.
Yeah, and Mike Bellotti told us really it was after the Cal game that he really started noticing marked improvement. It was a game he went 7 of 21 in, threw only 44 yards and 2 picks. Since that game, though, he's been lights out.
Masoli on the keeper. This is why he's so dangerous. He's only about 5'10", but he's kind of thick, and he has a way of making the first guy miss.
Kinda. He is thick. He's a big fella, and he's got good footwork back there. He used to outrun everybody on the corners. Now he's learning, Jesse, that everybody on defense can run at this level.
And Chip Kelly told us what really surprised him was the speed. He knew he was a good passer. Didn't know he could run like that. Craig, Chris, we saw him yesterday. He looks like a fullback in person. He's got those big, thick ankles.
This is Johnson. That's not a compliment when you say a guy has thick ankles. He runs pretty well for thick ankles.
Yeah, he does.
He's also got a very calm demeanor about him. He's very unflappable. Nothing seems to rattle him. And at the end of the first quarter, Ducks find themselves in a 10-point hole. We expected a shootout. One in the making right here in San Diego. 334 total yards in the first period. Nice little swell here in San Diego. Last couple of days. Boy, it's hard to top this area.
Was that you in Palmer today?
That's the senior division, but he still got it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's LeGarrette Blunt in the game, and little encroachment. Cowboys come across the line of scrimmage.
Illegal contact before the snap, number 92, 5 yards. The down remains, second.
Well, LeGarrette
came across there.
Yeah, LeGarrette Blunt, he's a guy 6'2", 230 pounds. Don't fall asleep defense. He's just almost as good as Jeremiah Johnson.
Solely pressured. Spun out. Able to fire downfield, and it's almost intercepted. So pressure from Ugo Chinasa. Ricky Price was down there too. We didn't expect much of a pass rush from the Pokes tonight. They've gotten one.
No, we didn't. They've been able to get after Jeremiah Mazzoli all night so far. And it's a great job here at Jeremiah Mazzoli just staying alive, not going down. But if you're going to throw this thing away, throw it out of bounds.
Now, it's a good thing that you're a thick quarterback right there. You don't go down. But my guess is he wasn't supposed to leave the pocket to get outside there. The block and the protection was to keep the pocket inside, not outside. Inexperience there.
He shows his strength, avoids the disastrous loss. It sets up a 3rd and 3. They dump it off short, and it's dropped. Terrence Scott would have gotten the first down, couldn't hold on. So the Ducks offense twice misfiring in Oklahoma State territory. Pacific Life game summary, impressive start for Gundy's offense.
How about that right there?
Well, they are the worst offense in the country when it comes to time of possession, usually because they're scoring so quickly. Only on the field for like 25 minutes, and they're going to go for it here. This is not much confidence in your defense, huh? Down 10. Blunt is the back. Masoli keeps it, runs into traffic, and he will not get the first down. So the Cowboys come up big on 4th down. Chinasa and Quinton Moore, the safety, and they'll get good field position.
Wow, it's the Oklahoma State defense right now in this game that's really answering the bell. They're making those critical stops that we thought one of these units would have to make if they were going to get this win.
You know what? In our deal yesterday, they talked about the 8 stops in this game that they wanted to make, and they included 3 and out or a punt. Well, this is a great turnover for them right here. If they can get to 8 of those, quarterback draw not working. This is a smart defense. Tim Beckman's not here. Their DC. He's gone. Looks like they're well prepared.
Capital One Bowl Week continues on New Year's morning following game day at South Carolina, Iowa, the Outback Bowl. SEC versus Big Ten. The Hawkeyes won 5 out of the last 6. They beat Penn State, denied the Lions' chance of playing in the BCS championship game. We'll talk more about some of the games that lie ahead in bowl season as the night unfolds. Cowboys back to work, already up 10. Have not been stopped tonight. 4 possessions. Field goal and a pair of touchdowns. This is Robinson. Flips it off to Pettigrew. And the tight end slams forward for about 9. Whatever Gundy is calling, and he does call the plays for this offense working so far.
Yeah, and it's amazing. We talked to Nick Galati, the defensive coordinator for Oregon. He said he did not want to give up any big plays. He wants Oklahoma State to have to march the football down in 8 to 12 play drives. Well, they've been doing that so far tonight. Their first 2 scoring drives of 10 plays or more. They don't have a problem marching the football.
This is Toasted. Problem is they're gaining about 8, 9, 10 yards of play.
Well, they came into the game averaging 7.2 yards a play, so they're able to get chunks quickly.
You have to somehow disrupt the timing of this offense, but there are so many players that spread the field that put pressure on the defense. You can't gamble too much against this offense. Zach Robinson's proved so far this night they don't make you pay for it.
That's what they do. They hurry up, empty backfield on 3rd and 1, but then they back off, check the defense, and now it's Robinson under center, and the quarterback sneak is stopped. He lost yardage. Big physical play from Tonio Salato. And a little Tukuafu off the edge.
I'm really surprised they try to run a quarterback sneak into this look because it looks like the line of scrimmage is stacked here. There's a lot of green helmets in all those gaps. You got to give Oregon credit, Craig. They get a great surge off the ball.
And you know what? Give them credit also. Nick Aliati, their defensive coordinator, says they're a smart defense, so they're aware of what that quarterback's up there doing, getting empty set and going underneath the center.
This time, Gundy will go for it. Needs about a yard on 4th down. Robinson keeps it, and he gets the first down.
Now this is a change. Gundy told us in our meetings that he didn't like early in the season to run Zach Robinson. Didn't want to get him hurt, right? But now lately, he's allowing him to run the ball more, which is allowing his legs and speed to come through for him.
And this is a monster play for Oklahoma State. They're able to keep momentum. They just get a turnover on downs. They're at midfield. They're able to convert that, and now the drive continues, trying to make this a 24-7 game.
Robinson hasn't really hurt Oregon that much running yet. Only 17 yards in the 7 carries. Fake it to Toston. Robinson goes downfield for Bryant. Incomplete. TJ Ward was there. A little air under that football. Bryant pleading to the officials.
Well, this time at least Oregon had 2 back with him, but that doesn't even work. Des Bryant has more giddy-up than they realize. They got to get on their horse and get back. Ward's lucky that Bryant didn't come down with that.
I think it's a nice job by TJ Ward just to fight, put his hands up where he sees Des Bryant put his hands up, and just fight with the football all the way down to the ground.
Does he have it, though? Let's take another look at this. Does he have possession when he hits the ground?
I don't think so.
Ripping it out of there? Yeah, Ward was beating the ball a little underthrown, but you're right. Good scramble recovery to prevent the touchdown.
Well, how about Des Bryant's speed just running by the double team, splitting it, and again, the confidence in Zach Robinson to throw it up to let his big guy go get it.
The play clock was at 3, so Gundy will spend his second timeout. And to build a 17-point lead over Oregon in this possession. It was 20 years ago tonight. Gundy was a player here. Here's another look at this. We'll talk more about his Holiday Bowl memories as we come back. No touchdown is the ruling.
Be up to date, Chris.
Okay, Reese, 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys here after the timeout. Some overwhelming performance offensively so far from the guys from Stillwater. Robinson pressure, but he dumps it off to Hunter in traffic, and he spins for about 6.
You talked about the performance of the offense. 32 snaps now for Oklahoma State. Oregon only has 11. Your offense is on the sideline. You can't do anything about it.
Well, really, and with the exception of the very first play of the game for Oregon, which was a trick play, they got a big pass out of that, and with a big long run by Jeremiah Johnson, really, Oklahoma State's defense has really stepped up and played well. And here's Oklahoma State again, another long drive. They're taking time off the clock, just methodically moving down the field. They cannot be stopped right now.
The Oregon defense is used to being on the field a lot because their offense is such a quick strike bunch, but they will wear out. Robinson on 3rd down, fires into traffic downfield, and it's intercepted by Ward. TJ Ward with 2 flags down, tight ropes up to the 35-yard line. Now we'll check the markers.
It's going to be pass interference against Oregon.
Yeah, Bryant was down there, and they had 2 defenders in the neighborhood, and Bryant says, wipe the pick away. It's going that way.
Zach Robinson got lucky here. It was a broken play. Des Bryant had run a curl route. He just took it up the sidelines. Zach Robinson hung the ball up a little too long in the air, and that's why TJ Ward able to make the pick.
Pass interference, defense number 15. 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
I would say this right now. If you're an Oregon secondary coach or a player, you've got to recognize that one sleeve Bryant's got a lot more speed than you realize coming into this game. You've got to give some respect there, Jesse. They got to get back better.
Well, again, there's a safety in the middle of the field, but no one over top of him. And we've seen that now all game.
That's the ultimate warrior of their secondary, Patrick Chung, making his 50th consecutive start, guilty of the pass interference, wipes out Ward's pick, and gives the Cowboys a first down at the 26. Toasting a short carry. Say short, didn't look like much. He got 5.
You know, in this Oklahoma State team also, you know, the Big 12 this year, the Big 12 South, a very strong division, one of the best in college football. And when you look at their losses, Jesse, it's impressive. It's why you see them doing what they're doing tonight in this game.
Well, they haven't lost to a team that was ranked worse than in the top 3 in the AP poll. And they beat Missouri when they were number 3. So they faced the best competition in the country. And in every game they were in except that Texas Tech game. But this team has fought, and they fought hard.
And again, this team has more coming back than the other teams in the division. Oklahoma State a team to watch next year as well. Robinson still has it, fires short. And it was kind of a bobbled play by Pettigrew. Catches it, but just picks up a yard.
And you have to give Zach Robinson a lot of credit because this year he was overshadowed by the Sam Bradfords and the Colt McCoys and the Graham Harrells of his own division. Zach Robinson is an outstanding quarterback. If he played in the Big Ten or played in the ACC or the Big East, he'd be a first-teamer, no question about it. But he's handled it really well. We asked Mike Gundy about that. He says, you know what? It doesn't really get to him that he didn't get the accolades and the attention. He just comes out week in, week out, tries to get better and play.
Tosin is the back. He motions out. Now 2 tight ends on 3rd and 4 and a flag. Pointing at Pettigrew.
Ball start, 87 offense. 5 yards. The down remains 3rd.
And Chris, when you talk about next year Oklahoma State liking their chances, not only a young team, but having the quarterback returning to their football team. Colt McCoy is more than likely going to come back and play at the University of Texas. Texas Tech's going to have to find a new quarterback. Looks like Taylor Potts will be the guy there. Chase Daniel, he's gone. You know, you've got a kind of Sam Bradford more than likely. He's going to look at strongly at the National Football League.
That's safe to say.
Sorry, Bob Stoops.
It's 3rd and 9 now. Robinson fires left side. It's Bryant who couldn't hold on. It's the first thing Des Bryant has done wrong tonight. Couldn't come up with that one. Rashawn Harris was pressuring Thurmond in coverage, and that's the first time the Ducks have come up with a stop here.
Well, and it starts with Rashawn Harris in the middle getting a good push. That's the first time Zach Robinson has had a lot of pressure in his face. Good job by Oregon generating pressure to force a bad throw, and now force at least Oklahoma State, if they can't score touchdowns, to at least try field goal.
Bailey good from 45 earlier. This is from 43. He missed it. Missed it wide right. So that's a huge victory for the Ducks defense, the way things have been going tonight.
You and I watched Bailey in pregame. He missed from that exact spot in pregame as well.
Tonight's Harley-Davidson clutch moment, a reprise of the great finish here 7 years ago. Texas fell way behind Washington, but from 19 down, Major Applewhite would rally the Longhorns, passed him into position. A couple of big plays to set up Ivan Williams. Game-winning touchdown run with 38 seconds to play. Applewhite is, of course, an assistant coach at Texas. His final game as a Longhorn. Texas had lost to Oregon the previous year out here. There have been lots of classic finishes and high-scoring games in Holiday Bowl history. Mr. James is involved in one.
Unfortunately.
It was a fun one for the offense, but a heartbreaker at the end for you. BYU got you.
Whew. We're talking about the end. You mean the very, very end.
Flashbacks here.
Jesse, my man, is all choked up. And they fake it on the end around. Masoli still has it, and he'll fire downfield. Has a man wide open, and Terrence Scott comes up with it inside the 25.
This is why I'm so excited about Jeremiah Masoli. He's great with his footwork. Look at the feet and how he gets his shoulders around and downfield. That's a hard throw, Jesse.
It's a hard throw to make, but Chip Kelly says the ball just flies off Jeremiah Masoli's hand. You see a great example right there. He is such a pure passer of the football.
Scott is a guy that came from the junior college. He had exactly 2 catches for 4 yards a year ago. Huge senior season. Leading receiver coming in as his first catch of the night. Now Masoli throws for the end zone. That was thrown into traffic and broken up. Looking for Ed Dixon. Good job dropping back into coverage was Levine.
Boy, Jeremiah Masoli had Jason Williams running underneath on a shallow cross wide open. This is maybe a good example of a young, inexperienced quarterback maybe wanting it a little bit too much. That throw is behind the receiver. It allows the defenders to get their paws on it again. Jason Williams, big tall target running wide open. He may have run that in. Masoli did not do it.
Jeremiah Johnson bobbled the ball on the handoff from Masoli, picks up about 4. He did that on a touchdown run against Oregon State. He still managed, the ball pops out of his hands, guided back, and went about 80 yards for a touchdown.
Very talented running football team, very explosive team. And just imagine when Jeremiah Masoli really masters this thing with the passing game, what the offense can do with the balance.
They need 8 yards on 3rd down, and Oregon is not used to getting stopped on 3rd down. This has been surprising for them that they have not been able to overpower this Oklahoma State defense. Masoli keeps it, but he's going nowhere. Was not able to make the first guy miss. Good job on the edge by Derek Burton.
Really impressed so far again. I mean, we talked about this Oklahoma State defense. They've been getting after it, but it's been up front. It's been those 4 guys getting a lot of pressure. They're staying, reading their keys. Not easy to play against this spread option offense, but they're playing assignment football.
And Oregon's offense did exactly what they had to do. They gave themselves an opportunity to get points on this drive. They had to take advantage of their recent defensive stand.
So here comes Morgan Flint. 38 yards. It's blocked. It's blocked and picked up. Jacob Lacey grabbed the football, and so much for the perfect record of Morgan Flint. Parrish Cox got in there, the speedster, off the edge to block the field goal.
Jesse's laughing at me because you heard me go, oh. You think I went, oh. What do you think Mike Bellotti said? That was long on the snap and the kick.
Wow, what a great job by
on
Cox.
that.
But look at the speed off the edge there.
Yeah, 1.34 on that.
Great effort stretching out as well, leaving his body out on the line to make that block, allowing Jacob Lacey to pick it up. Another big play from Oklahoma State.
So the Ducks come up empty, and now the Pokes set up at the 43-yard line. Robinson. 8 yards before Patrick Chung got him.
Oregon on that play starting to creep up a little bit more towards the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they're going to be satisfied now just staying back in big zones. Craig, you were talking about it earlier. They got to mix it up, do something else.
This is Hunter. He's had a quiet start to this game, and he stopped right about the first down marker. He has not really gotten loose. It's been Poston has been the more effective runner tonight in terms of the tailbacks.
Yeah, we just asked Erin Andrews to go over and check it out, see if there's anything wrong with Hunter. She said there's not. So it's almost like he doesn't understand his feet right now in this kind of part.
Well, the magic ratio all year for Oklahoma State has been about 25 carries a game for Kendall Hunter, 12 for Keith Poston, but that hasn't been the case tonight so far.
He did have a touchdown. Seems to be healthy. He's been able to get loose.
Not lathered up yet. He's looking for some more carries.
Doesn't get the first down, so Toston's in there. They fake it to him. Robinson takes a shot downfield. Looking for Bryant. Overthrown. It was Thurmond again with no help from the safety. They said they were not going to single cover Bryant. Rarely does it happen in the Big 12, but they've done it tonight. They've burned by it.
They've done it tonight. They have been burned by it, and there's no question right now in the game plan where Zach Robinson is supposed to throw the football tonight. Every time he's dropped back, immediately he's looked right at Des Bryant, taking shots, whether it's short, intermediate, or way down the field.
I mean,
absolutely, I would.
I'd come back and I'd check down. I'd go Bryant, then number 2 and number 3.
And then back to Bryant.
Yeah, he's gotten tired of hearing about he doesn't, make big plays on the road, doesn't make big plays against good teams. He didn't have a touchdown against Texas or Texas Tech or Oklahoma. Did have some catches against the Sooners at home. This is Toston. He dropped for a short loss. Aaron, what about number 1?
Chris, you were mentioning the single coverage, and Mike Gundy telling us over the phone, Des gets very frustrated that he doesn't get the ball all the time, and Coach Gundy has to say to him, look, just calm down about this. When you get to the NFL, you'll get single coverage. Don't worry about it. You'll get your time there.
Fortunately for Gundy, he's got one more year with Des, number 1 here at Oklahoma State. 90% of the time is what Gundy told us that he received double team.
Bryant's a true sophomore, so he's not draft eligible until next season. Pike's seen 11. This is their toughest third down conversion so far. Robinson flips it to Bryant, and he's got the first down inside the 35.
It's a great job by Mike Gundy matching Des Bryant up in the right spot. He was lined up in the slot on that play, anticipating zone coverage from Oregon so that he could work the middle of the field.
Watch the middle of the field, how when you cross and you gain time with your quarterback scrambling a little bit, you can't pick up Des Bryant.
Slot is a different look. Speedster, 15 yards there. 8 for a $104 right now for Bryant.
It's early.
We have to start getting out the record books here.
Note to the record
books.
The
Cowboys were here 20 years ago. They broke every offensive record in a beatdown of Wyoming. It was Sanders. It was Gundy throwing a Hartley. Dykes. Gundy has fond memories of that, not just because he went down to Tijuana the week of the game, but because they lit up Wyoming. Sanders played only 3 quarters, and the Heisman Trophy winner that year ran for 222 and 5 touchdowns. Gundy, a quiet 20 of 24 for 315 and 2, 62-14.
Mike Gundy also caught a 17-yard pass and ran for 41 yards. He had the total day, which is why he's in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl Hall of Fame.
It was 20 years ago tonight. He said it was very special as folks were here to see him as a player do well that night. Here to see him coach tonight. This is Hunter. Lots of traffic and a short loss.
It has nothing to do with his cleats right now. I mean, you talk about trying to find a spot to run the football right now. Hunter can't get any room. There's no daylight out there.
Well, having said, I mean, Kendall Hunter's one of those guys. It takes one carry for him to go off, and it can change already. But you wonder sometimes also, coaches like to go with the hot hand. And if he's not necessarily out there generating production, then all of a sudden Keith Toston maybe will be the guy getting the majority of the carries.
Maybe you should just throw the ball anyway. They can't stop the pass. So 8 yards needed on this third down.
There's a big tight end out here. That makes it mighty difficult when you got the big man split out in the slot. Hard to bracket and find who to cover there.
Instead, they fire to Bryant. He doesn't have first down yardage. Stopped at the 25 by Jarris Bird. It'll be fourth and about 1.5 yards.
I think he hurt himself too when he slipped on this grass here.
Immediate concern as the trainers run out to check out Bryant. He stopped awkwardly, didn't he?
He planted and his feet kept going. And
this is the first time that Oregon brackets Des Bryant, but they do it way off the ball. The ball behind him a little bit, you see. His ankle or his foot looks like it gets caught underneath.
His right foot slipped as he planted, you're right. And then his left was in an awkward position.
Yes. Didn't LaDainian Tomlinson of the Chargers here a couple of days ago get a groin with a slip on this carpet?
Yeah, and the Chargers have to be right back here Saturday against the Colts in a playoff
I just wonder,
game.
we talked about this, in today's times when you've got great product out there, field turf, and you know that you've got a stadium like this, a tremendous venue, and you got a grass field like this, they say they're proud of it. Man, you got stellar athletes out here playing a lot of football games. Get a good field turf out there.
Okay. And you're not a stockholder in the company.
Well, I'm saying generic when I say turf. Whatever. Get something out there that'll hold you up and keep you to play and not hurt you.
When they check out Bryant, we'll check with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, coming up at halftime, Mike Shanahan sees the end come at Denver. We'll have reaction from one of his former players. We'll show you the best of bowl week so far and still plenty more to go. And we'll also tell you how LeBron is celebrating his 24th birthday. Mark and Lou are here. We'll see you at halftime.
Reese, thanks. We hope we haven't seen the last of Des Bryant. That was his 9th catch, 110 yards. But he's helped off, favoring that left ankle. Now on 4th down, folks will go for it. They need to get near the 23-yard line. It's Toston behind the fullback Bryant Ward. Option. Toston. He won't get it. Ducks get a stop, and Nick Reed, the sackmaster, making the play on the edge.
Yeah, it's Nick Reed. He's out there. This is a football team that really needed to step up with the defensive side of it. And Reed, 49, he says he's a tenacious guy. He showed it there.
A rare stop for the Oregon defense. Ducks will get the ball back. 3:38 before halftime. Oak State up by 10. The Goodyear blimp, providing tonight's aerial coverage. Happy holidays from above. Bowl scene will shift up I-5, up in Pasadena, New Year's Day. Penn State and USC, the granddaddy of them all, presented by Citi. Joe Paterno's second visit to the Rose Bowl. Talked to him the other day. I think Penn State folks feel that although nobody on the West Coast is giving Penn State any chance at all, they kind of like their chances. I think they feel comfortable against USC's mighty defense.
Why not? They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line, a well-coached football team.
USC's beaten 10 straight Big Ten opponents by an average of 28 points. Woo.
Yeah, but Penn State would say they're not like every other Big Ten team.
Yeah.
They had a lot more success in bowl games typically than most other Big Ten teams. You saw Bryant trying to walk off that injury. And the Ducks before halftime trying to make something happen. It's a short gain for Johnson. Aaron, what have we learned, if anything, about Bryant's condition?
Well, it's not the ankle, Chris. The training staff was looking at his left knee, and as you can tell, he's walking on it right now. And as soon as he came off the field, a lot of the players from Cowboys offense went over to the training table. Mike Gundy grabbed all of them, said, get on the bench, get away from him. You're probably going to have to do this without him now. Several players have tried to come talk to him, and Mike Gundy has said, leave him alone. We have to concentrate on playing without him now.
That's interesting. You saw, by the way, Jeremiah Price trying to tiptoe in there as a defensive lineman, but he made contact with the center, so a 5-yard mark-off, and that's Gundy visiting with Zach Robinson.
You know, we've questioned this in the past. You know, hey, how can you handle being head football coach and offensive coordinator sitting on the bench? This is a great example of where he can get his team together mentally and not lose them because of Bryant.
High throw by Masoli off the hands of Terrence Scott. Yeah, Gundy very often will not watch when his team's on defense at all. He's focusing on either drawing up plays or talking to Robinson.
Which is really unique, but I think that also shows you his confidence in his defensive staff to call the game so he can go out, game plan. He's drawing up new plays on his board, showing it to the players. Here's a great example of him doing it right here. He's talking to the people upstairs, trying to figure out what the next best play is against what Oregon's doing defensively right now. I'd love that. If I was a quarterback, my head coach was a play caller, I'd love if he was doing that with me.
3rd and 1. It's Johnson. Hard-earned yards. Near the 38. Lemon makes the stop. They will move the chains here in the final 3 minutes of the first half. Aaron?
Chris, we saw a lot of this, of Mike Gundy coming over to the benches or to the trunks in the game Columbia against Missouri. I mean, that was a game I worked, and he would come over, sit there, talk to Zach Robinson about it, and just like Jesse said, he said, I love it. He comes over, draws things up right in front of me. I hear it from him. I know exactly what's going on as soon as I hit the field.
This is Masoli throwing behind Jason Williams, who couldn't hold on. This Oregon passing game is really misfiring. I think Oklahoma State felt really good about their ability to stop this offense if they could just stop Johnson's running, and they have done a decent job of that.
And ironically enough, Jeremiah Masoli has been better tonight throwing the football deep. His accuracy's been great deep. It's these intermediate short throws. He's been throwing it behind guys, throwing it high. Yeah, he's got to settle down.
Don't you agree, though? Jason Williams needs to catch that football. I mean, that's a ball you got to catch. His receivers haven't stepped up enough.
Flip it back to Scott. He makes the catch, but he's dropped for a loss. Jacob Lacey right there.
You know, and this is really a point in time that Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, he's got to come up with something. This is a flat offense out there right now. They're standing around looking, you know.
And Bryant will head to the locker room. Slight limp. We hope we haven't seen the last of him. Monster first half. 3rd and 10. Masoli flushed out of the pocket. Has some room. And he'll get the first down. Lowers his head as he crosses midfield and finds the sideline. Ricky Price was knocked flat by the quarterback.
Well, we talked about having a thick body and what that can do for you. Step up and make a play. Here's a quarterback that has to do something outside the pocket, and he does it with his feet.
But this is the best defense to do it against. Oklahoma State playing a 2-man, which means everybody's back is to Jeremiah Masoli because they're chasing receivers. That's when quarterbacks have the best chance to run it.
You're a safety. You're not supposed to get run over by a quarterback like that.
I'm telling you, man, it's those thick ankles.
Another high throw. It was Scott over there. A lot of passes off Duck's hands. I mean, not completely accurate throw, but catchable.
Yeah, it's touching you. You got to make the play over there. Des Bryant's been picking up Zach Robinson for his football team, so I think Oregon's receivers have 2 or 3 drops tonight.
This is LeGarrette Blunt in the ball game to the left of Masoli. Only has time, flips it off short into traffic. It was again a little bit behind Jason Williams, and Lemon was there defending.
Again, it's strange to me to see this right now. Oregon struggling throwing the football underneath in the intermediate zones right now. They just can't find the chemistry, whether it's guys dropping passes, whether it's poor decision making from Jeremiah Masoli. This has to be a part of the field that they own if they're going to move the football against Oklahoma State.
How about maybe being frustrated, used to scoring so quickly, not having to be patient, not having to work the field and work it down there.
He averaged 42 points a game facing a defense that struggled a lot this year. This is Johnson. Makes the catch, gets away, dives down near the 40. It'll be 4th down, clock running. Presume go for this here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. These two offenses, absolutely, they're going for this.
And that little play right there from a football standpoint, did you see the quick dart to the ball carrier so that the receiver could get it in his hands and turn upfield? That was a nice, impressive throw.
If they don't make it, they don't want to leave Oklahoma State too much time here, so there's not a great deal of urgency from Oregon. Important just try to get to 4 yards. And it's complete. Finding the ball was Ed Dixon, the tight end. First down at the 30. Clock stopped at 59 seconds.
And you got 3 timeouts to go here on the right side. You're going to see Dixon, what he's going to do. Watch the linebacker run right past him. Boom, get him the ball.
Well, it's a good job of Jeremiah Mazzoli knowing where he's going with the football. Very confident, very decisive. The ball's out right now when Oklahoma State brings pressure.
First catch for Dixon. Mazzoli again looks short. It's Jason Williams. Only about a 2-yard gain. They'll have to spend a timeout here. Levine, tight coverage. Williams, a physical receiver, 6'5", 240, but this is a tremendous job by a defense that doesn't have its coordinator, by a defense that just got blitzed by Oklahoma in the finale. To come out here, and you've got Glenn Spencer, Joe DeForest kind of co-coordinating with Beckman taking off, and kudos for the first 30 minutes.
Well, don't you like the fact, though, that this coaching staff, they've been together for a while. Mike Gundy really believes in them, and they work together to continue the game plans that they've been trying to accomplish this season.
I think what's helping also is this defense is very fresh. Their offense has been on the field now for 44 plays. Oregon now just got into the 20s. So it's a very fresh defense. When they're coming on the field, they're flying around, and we've seen that all night so far.
Yeah, the 1 lapse on the touchdown run from Jeremiah Johnson, accounting for all of Oregon's points so far. I think very few, even the Cowboys fans would not have expected that Oregon would have just 1 scoring drive in the first half, at least so far. 36 seconds to go. Ronnie's team will get the ball to start the second half. They'd like to cut into the lead right here. Mazzoli for Mayo, and the timing just off. He turned around late, and the ball was thrown outside.
Oklahoma State that time deciding to bring pressure and try to force a throw from Jeremiah Mazzoli. He had time trying to back shoulder his receiver, Jeffrey Mayo. Again, not able to hook up. And now another long 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, and like they did on their last 3rd down is I try to find a way to get the ball in number 24's hand, Jeremiah Johnson. Screen, something out in the flats, get the ball in the guy's hands. It makes plays for you.
Mazzoli scrambling, can't take a sack here, and throws into traffic along the sidelines, incomplete. No possession, he juggled it. It was Scott, but no catch. Good pressure from Ugo Chinasa. The sack would have taken him out of field goal range. As it is, it's kind of a long attempt for Flint. He doesn't have a make this long all season.
Well, all of a sudden, this thing has turned into a defensive struggle. We saw a turnover on downs from Oregon, missed field goal from Oklahoma State, blocked field goal by Oklahoma State, turnover on downs. Here they go.
All right, the last time they were 1.34 on their attempt. You want to get this thing off in 1, 2, or less. Let's see what they do.
Mike Black, our spotter, has the stopwatch here to see how quickly they can get the snap and the kick away. Flint from 47. 8 yards longer than his previous long. And he pushed it. Hadn't missed in the 7 attempts coming into this game, but Flint's had 1 blocked. Now he's wide, and the lead is still 10.
He was longer. He was 1.41 on that one. Lucky again. That last drive, I know, Jesse, you say the defenses have stepped up a little bit here. I see the drops, and I see almost a lack of confidence offensively. Oregon, they don't look like the Oregon Ducks we've been watching.
Well, all these little drops, they're on little shallow crossing routes. They're not big plays downfield, but they all add up. Yes. They add up into big yardage, and that is killing Oregon right now.
"20 seconds before halftime. Gundy wants more. Robinson taking a shot downfield, and at the 35 is the catch made. No, incomplete. They were looking for a Neum. Rupert and Neum, number 84, in replacing Bryant. And now the conference on the sidelines there.
It's almost like this was close to being a play of the year interception.
It could look like it could have been a catch. Did the ball ever hit the ground? I don't think so.
No, that's an interception.
Thurman was laying on the ground.
That's an interception. Now, Aneem should have made that catch.
That's an interception.
Thurman slips trying to turn around. It's an underthrown ball.
Yeah, they'll review this play. The whistle's blowing right now. Bellotti was right in front of him and say, wait a minute.
I saw it.
I'll make the call for you.
I done TiVo'd that upstairs.
It's been a long first half for Thurman. He's been assigned single coverage perhaps too often against Des Bryant. He's been burned.
Well, and because of it, Mike Gundy going after him here, under 20 seconds left to go in a game, on your own 30-yard line, taking shots down the sidelines at Walter Thurman.
He's an experienced guy. He's made 36 career starts. He's a junior. Have a look. I think it goes through Aneem's hands.
Yes. Thurman's still in bounds. His whole body is in the field of play.
Never touched the ground.
He has complete control of the ball before his legs roll out of bounds.
That's an unbelievable catch by Walter Thurman. Just the concentration is incredible.
Well, it's not like he went up to get the ball. I mean, he just kind of
he's playing defense on his backside, waving his arms up there, trying to make something happen.
Look at him. He's telling the guys right now, I was just trying to pat it away.
Yeah,
Fell
I had that
down.
planned all day.
It's finally something to smile about. He hadn't had much in the first 30 minutes.
Well, we've seen this offense now. Finally, Oregon, they've got 29 snaps against 45 for Oklahoma State, so there's a little bit more balance that's starting to take place. And if you're Oregon, don't you think, Jesse Fowler, don't you guys think that they go to the locker room thinking, man, we really stunk out there this first half, but we're still in this game?
Well, I just think psychologically for an offense, and Chris, you touched on it earlier, it's a unit that's averaging 42 points a game, and to be at 7 points on the scoreboard right now with 14 seconds left, you've been game planning for this game for a month.
After review, the ball was tipped by the offense and recovered and caught by the defense. Inbound. Therefore, it was a reception and a first down. Ball replaced at the 35-yard line.
Thurman says, I told you I got it. So that's the first turnover for Oklahoma State. Thurman has his 4th pick of the season. None like this, though.
Well, Oklahoma State may be feeling the effects a little bit of not having Des Bryant in right now. You wonder, would Des Bryant have come back and made that catch, jumping over top?
Well, it's just obvious, like we were saying here, that Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy was going for it. He's still trying to put the pedal down here to see if he can get a big play out of him, but
I wouldn't be dancing too much. They got lit up as a defense pretty good, although a better second quarter for Oregon.
Same thing here. Chip Kelly's got to dial something up to see if he can get a big play to use those two timeouts.
Sewing? Yeah, it's not even close. Way over the head of Terrence Scott.
It looked like he was trying to throw the ball so hard he forgot about throwing it to his guy.
Well, he was going to the right spot on that play. I don't question necessarily the decision-making of Jeremiah Mazzoli so far in this first half, but certainly the execution, the accuracy has really been lacking.
We talked about how calm he is, unflappable, but he's showing signs of being pretty keyed up for this game, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah, he's not played to the level I thought he was going to play at.
9 seconds before halftime. Mazzoli will dump it off short. They do have some timeouts, and Scott takes off. Scott scampers out of bounds with 1 second to go.
Very smart play there. You know, this is a guy, too, that's one of their big play guys, leads the team in receptions. A lot of speed. And the run after the catch that they talked about that he has the ability to do, but very smart getting out of bounds. Well,
you're out of field goal range right now if you're Oregon, but at least you give yourself an opportunity to throw the football into the end zone on the last play of the half.
Yeah, it would be a 60-yard field goal attempt. And they'll spend a timeout here to talk about the strategy with 1 second to go.
Oh, boy, I've seen this play happen before.
right here in this field.
Unfortunately, I watched a little Hail Mary action take place in the old Mustangs a long time ago.
Quarterback by the name of Jim McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon. Coming up with that jump.
Coincidentally, Craig, we have it right on cue for you, too.
Look at the cutback. Look at the vision by Pony on this to cut it back and the wheels carrying it down the sideline. Nobody catching him. 225
yards rushing for Greg James. They led by 20 with 4 minutes to go. But McMahon, the Hail Mary, 0-0. He threw for 449 and 4 touchdowns, 46-45. And there you are, sandwiched between Raymond Harris and Barry Sanders.
Oh, man. Come on,
Are you in the Hall of Fame here?
Yes.
Even on a losing effort?
Yes.
Okay. Mazzoli, final play of the half, escapes the sack, and just decides to
Why couldn't we have
trot
done
out of
that?
bounds?
Huh?
Well, kind of a misleading stat. Oregon, 248 yards of offense in the first half, but only 7 points in the Johnson touchdown run. 17-7 lead for Oklahoma State, and Aaron in the dark down there with Mike Gundy.
Well, Coach, we saw Des Bryant walk off. What's the status of your receiver?
Well, they took him in to x-ray him, and hopefully he'll be okay. I think he got twisted up there a little bit, but, you hate to see anybody get hurt. I think he'll be okay. We'll find out at halftime.
I saw you grab your offense, take them kind of away from him on the training table. If he is out for the second half, what's your plan?
Well, we continue to do what we do. I mean, obviously we have a lot of things that are tied into his ability that we got to cut back on right now. But we have a good football team. We got to run the ball better and then get the ball to the guys that can make plays other than Des.
All right, thank you. Chris?
So a fairly surprisingly low-scoring first half, just 24 points. Oklahoma State, a 10-point lead of Oregon. The Flomax halftime report. Reese, Lou, and Mark.
All right, Chris, and perhaps the situation, at least for the Oregon offense, in which the Ducks are knocking off the rust after the layoff. Not exactly the offensive explosion that we expected, but still a second half to go and a lot of time to get there. But you're not terribly surprised, really, by the way the Ducks have played in the first half.
No, I have a philosophy, just examining football over all the years. If you end up the season playing very, very well and you're very excited, then you usually play poorly in the bowl game. Good example is Oregon. Their last two football games, they scored a total of 110 points. They beat their arch rival, Oregon, by a score of 61-41 or 65-35, something like that. On the other hand, Oklahoma State gets beat by their arch rival, Oklahoma, 61-41. They're anxious to play in the game. Oregon's looking back about how great they ended up the season, and consequently, how can a team that scored 110 points their last two football games come out and be lucky to put 7 points on the board?
I'll just make this very simple. The bottom line for Oklahoma State here, they have to find out if their wide receiver, Des Bryant, can come back in this game. In this game, he's got 9 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, and if you look at him, he is their playmaker offensively. He has 19 touchdown receptions on the year. If he comes back in the second half and plays well, they win. If not, they're going to struggle.
I just want to know, do you have empirical data to back up your philosophy, or is that just a feeling?
It's working, isn't it? This isn't the first time I've expressed it. This is my belief.
I
it
know
all
it is.
goes into your mental attitude of how you approach a bowl game. And you win. Now, sometimes there's the exception to it, but basically, you end up very strong on the season. You have difficulty getting them focused. I tell you, Mayday.
We'll see how the second half goes.
My ambition is to coach Mayday for 1 week. That's all.
We'll try to arrange that if we can. Mike Shanahan will not be coaching the Denver Broncos for another week. Shanahan dismissed as head coach at Denver after 14 seasons. He was the second longest tenured coach in the NFL behind Jeff Fisher of the Titans. Shanahan won 2 Super Bowls with Denver during John Elway's final seasons in the Mile High City, but he was dismissed after going 24-24 over his past 3 years, and they blew a 3-game lead down the stretch, unable to make the playoffs this year. So Shanahan out in Denver. Jets want to talk to Bill Cowher, perhaps some front office issues there. And former Jets head coach Eric Mangini will interview with the Browns. That coming just 1 day after he was dismissed as the head coach in New York. And joining us now is our NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Mark, you won a couple of Super Bowls in Denver with Mike Shanahan. What do you think of the decision to relieve him of his duties?
Well, I mean, number one, I understand it. And yes, he's an icon here in Denver, but you look at the last 3 years, 24-24, as you mentioned, Reese, they haven't got it done. And I think the one thing you look at from the owner's perspective, that's Pat Bowlen, is that every year you hear the same thing. Hey, we're one player away. We're one franchise player away on defense. We're one of this or a couple players away here, and then we can make this thing. We can rectify this thing, and we can be a Super Bowl champion. And ultimately, I think Pat Bowlen looked at that and said, we're not one player away. I've given you complete and total autonomy of this organization, and we haven't got better in the last 3 years. And so I look at it from his perspective and say it's time to change. I think the other thing, Reese, when you look at the success that a Miami Dolphins team has had, that an Atlanta Falcons team has had, and that kind of infrastructure setup where you've got a guy in charge of football operations who appoints and empowers a general manager who hires a head coach that shares the philosophical values that he has, then everything kind of works in order and you see dramatic turnarounds. And I think Pat Bowlen looks at those situations that have happened the last year and says, that's what I need on my football team.
Okay, so how does that impact the potential? And this is pure speculation here, but Bill Cowher's out there. He's the biggest name. Is that a fit in Denver?
You know, I don't think so, because I think that Bill Cowher wants that autonomy that Pat Bowlen basically just got rid of. I mean, I think Pat Bowlen wants to hire a football guy, a general manager, a Scott Pioli out of New England, a guy that works for us in Floyd Reese, and empower that guy to make those personnel decisions, to bring those players to Denver that can make a difference, and then, like I said, hire a guy that shares the same philosophy as the head coach and do this together where there's this system of checks and balances. And honestly, they haven't had that here in Denver since about 1996. And I think that's what Pat Bowlen really wants here in Denver for his team.
All right, Mark, always a pleasure. Thanks for spending time with us.
You got it, guys.
All right, Mark Schlereth, the former Bronco, part of 2 Super Bowl champions there, and another one in Washington. The Roadies Humanitarian Bowl turned into a shootout. We'll show you how the Terps fared coming up.
This halftime report brought to you by Prescription Flomax.
The emotions will run high. The memories will last. New Year's Day. Joe Paterno leads the Penn State Nittany Lions against Pete Carroll's powerful USC Trojans in the granddaddy of them all. ABC brings you the 95th Rose Bowl game presented by Citi at 4:30 Eastern Time, January 1st.
USC has a multitude of weapons, but one will be missing. Fullback Stanley Havili, who's an excellent pass receiver out of the backfield, good blocker as well. Academically ineligible, will not play against Penn State in the Rose Bowl. However, it shouldn't affect his status for spring ball, and the sophomore should be able to go by then. Roadies Humanitarian Bowl, Maryland and Nevada. Terps have won 3 of their last 4 bowl games on the blue. Colin Kaepernick had a great day. Vi Tawa has Tawa's second touchdown of the game, and the Wolfpack within 7, but Darrell Scott, who broke curfew, made a. But you know what? Fridge is a benevolent dictator. He put him in the second half and let him run wild.
And just running straight downhill here. Excellent blocking up front. All this is a foot race, and he takes it 49 yards for the score.
14 carries, 174 yards for Darrell Scott, but Kaepernick, he had a bum wheel. He sprained an ankle early. He goes 15 yards to bring him within 7, Lou.
He did a very nice job, but one thing was obvious. Maryland was just too big, too strong, and too physical for him.
And here is Scott putting the game away. Kaepernick wouldn't get another opportunity. He got the MVP in a losing effort. He threw for 370 yards. Fridge got himself a shower. Maryland gets themselves a win. Maryland beats Nevada 42-35 to finish with their 8th victory of the season. So we wondered about Maryland's mental state. We talked about this in the early going. I thought the Terps, especially, not only with the traveling to Boise, all of the guys that were suspended for the first half because of the curfew violations, they stepped up and played.
They definitely did, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I thought they were very impressive with their run defense. Coming into this game, they were ranked 73rd in the nation. And you thought against this Nevada team ranked 2nd in rushing in the nation, averaging 291 yards per game, that would be a huge struggle for the Maryland defense, but not in this game. They stepped up big time and held Nevada to 114 yards rushing. I thought that was key. It made Nevada a one-dimensional offense where they had to throw the football.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. But when you watch this football game, it was just obvious that Maryland was big or physical, more strong, etc., and just dominated the game. Now, no doubt about it, Coach Alton, Nevada did a great job of throwing the football, keeping the game in contention, but Maryland was just too strong.
And how about Darrell Scott, the running back? What he was able to do in this game. Misses curfew, gets benched the first half, comes back in the second half, 14 rushing attempts, 174 yards. I think the Fridge should have him miss curfew every game next season.
I think there was a rumor going around out there that Fridge asked him, where'd you guys go last night?
I want to know. I've been to Boise. I want to know where he went in Boise to violate curfew. I did bed at 8:30.
You know what they say, when you're in a hole, stop digging. So I don't think I'm going to comment on that. It's probably out snowboarding or something. In the Texas Bowl, Western Michigan is just getting clobbered by Rice. Chase Clement, 16 of 24. He's thrown for a couple of touchdowns. third down mayday not going so well for the Broncos right now.
Not
1
so
out of
much.
7.
Not so much at all. And if you look at Rice in this game, they're just dominating from top to bottom. Obviously, total yards in the score.
But the one thing that's obvious, the Mid-American Conference just doesn't have the speed when you watch them in all the bowl games to compare with the opposition.
No question about that. And they're not comparing favorably against the Owls from Conference USA at the moment. On the final day of 2008, we've got a great matchup in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Will the Mad Hatter be able to get that defense together against Paul Johnson's option? We'll look ahead.
Welcome back to the Flomax Halftime Report.
Looking to the end zone, back of the end zone, touchdown.
Ponder back to throw to the corner, touchdown.
Going deep in a double coverage, caught. Hunt, Lawson, looking end zone. Touchdown.
Here he goes, kiss him goodbye.
Did he catch that off his helmet?
Shades of David Tyree.
After White, who throws a deep strike, and what a catch! Touchdown!
Smith to the 20, turns on the Jets and goes all the way.
With the vision of a running back.
Top performers of the bowl season, Akeem Nicks, not only in numbers, but in style points. The behind-the-back catch, the play of the bowl season. There have been some great ones. Patrick White was just outstanding. His first career 300-yard passing game. And Javid Best pretty much won the game for Cal with his performance against Miami. Still more to come. Well, 2008 rings out in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the ACC against the SEC. And Georgia Tech riding in off a victory over the Bulldogs between the hedges against an LSU team that really faltered down the stretch. The reigning national champions had a losing record in the SEC. Well, at 7:30 Eastern time on New Year's Eve, you can see Georgia Tech and LSU. And LSU's defense, a lot of talent on that defense, but not a lot of production, especially late in the season.
Boy, their last 3 games, they gave up over 30 points. Never in the history of LSU have they given up 30 points or more in 3 straight games, let alone 4. But on the other hand, LSU has won 17 straight games against ACC competition. They're 4-0 in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. The problem is they just aren't playing particularly good defense. They don't play real good assignment defense. They don't tackle particularly well. And they have just been very, very porous overall. They have gone downhill since they lost Bo Pelini, who was the outstanding defense coordinator, and they're really going to be challenged against the great Georgia Tech offense.
And the key is for this LSU defense, are they motivated enough against the Georgia Tech offense? If you look at this Georgia Tech offense, 3 times this season, they rushed for over 400 yards. The key is, can LSU stop the spread offense of Georgia Tech? You've got Jonathan Dwyer over 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards a carry. Roddy Jones, 9 yards a carry. Josh Nesbitt has rushed for 7 touchdowns. touchdowns. But if you look at this team, they run the ball so effectively, 282 yards average per game, third in the nation. That'll be key. And if you look at Georgia, in their last game, they rushed for over 400 yards, 409 yards total against Georgia's defense. And that's the same Georgia football team that put over half 100 against LSU.
A spread option, a triple option, just don't say the word wishbone. But anyway, they get down low on the defensive lineman sometime, make some cut blocks, perfectly legal, by the way. We'll see how LSU handles that. That'll be a very intriguing game between the Bayou Bengals and the Yellow Jackets on New Year's Eve. Gaylord Hotel's Music City Bowl, and look who's going bowling for the first time since the Reagan administration. The first one, Vanderbilt against Boston College. Jeff Jagodzinski, the Commodores, at 6-6. BC's won 8 straight bowl games. That is the longest active streak. The Eagles have had a great deal of success in bowl games. They seem to have the formula figured out.
Well, number one, let's give BC credit. They play awfully well in the bowl game, make great preparation. But on the other hand, they usually go to a bowl that's a little bit lower than what their ranking truly deserves. Why? Because they're up in the Northeast, they don't take an awful lot of following, and consequently, they don't play the great opponents that they have normally. But just like this, they're going down there to play against Vanderbilt. They should beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a good football team, will play well. But,
you know, you're exactly right about the discrepancy in the level of the opponent. A long bowl losing streak came to an end largely because of the
Notre Dame always gets uprated into a bowl, whereas I think BC gets downrated into a bowl. BC very possibly.
Hawaii. They're proud that they beat Hawaii.
We're talking about
they
BC.
won the game.
We're talking
it's a
about
6-6 team. I mean,
BC should have been playing West Virginia when you look at where they ranked in the conference, et cetera. But this happens all the time. It doesn't mean to take anything away from BC, but that sometimes is why you have a good record.
Well, for BC, the thing that's really led them the entire season long has been their defense. Head coach Jeff Jagodzinski's done a fabulous job with this defense, and they are number one in the nation in garnering interceptions, 26 of them on the season, and they've done it with their entire defense. It's been a community pool of players to get interceptions. But Mark Herzlich, the linebacker, has been phenomenal this season. He's got 105 tackles, but he also has 6 interceptions as a linebacker. And this is what's key for them, because it puts their offense in great position when they get those turnovers, and it puts a lot of pressure on the opposing football team's defense, because when they get those turnovers, they do something with it. They get positive yards out of it. Whether if they return it for a touchdown or not, they make sure that they return it for positive yards, puts the offense in great position.
We'll see the SEC playing in bowl games for the first time on New Year's Eve, and we'll see how they fare in the Bowl Challenge Cup. While they've had great records overall in bowl games, they've yet to win this particular award, which is presented by us here at ESPN to the conference, which has the best bowl winning percentage among those conferences, with at least 3 teams playing in bowl games. The Big East 3-0, and they've got Pittsburgh against Oregon State in the Sun Bowl coming up. That could be a pivotal one if the Big East wants to win.
Oh, Sean McCoy will get 1,000 yards in that
game. Des Bryant got hurt late in the half, but not before he had 9 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. The Pokes on top of the Ducks, 17-7. Let's take a listen to the Oklahoma State Marching Band in San Diego. Andy Routen's having a big game. Jeremiah Johnson, this is the instant drive for the Ducks, but Oregon really didn't get much else going, at least in terms of scoring. They didn't get anything else going in the first half. They're right there in it, down by 10 at the break.
This halftime report brought to you by Prescription Flomax. This is ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Holiday Bowl #1, baby. happy and take care of business.
It's a lateral on the first play. Pitch back to Masoli. It looks downfield, and it's caught. Masoli is pressured and sacked on third down.
Little option look. Robinson still has it. Now pitches to Hunter, who dives for the pylon. Touchdown.
Johnson breaking tackles, looking for a big play. Jeremiah Johnson. He has a caravan down the sideline. Touchdown. Now, these two powerful offenses, we did see some fireworks in the first half, but shockingly, a scoreless second quarter. Could have gotten long odds against that coming in. Oklahoma State leading at 17-7. They dominated time of possession. Oregon will get the ball to start this third quarter. Chris Fowler, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Aaron Andrews. Kind of a puzzling first half for the Ducks offense. So used to moving down the field and scoring quickly, they were frustrated. This is Walter Thurman trying to create some field position with the opening possession, and he'll do so. Thurman takes off. The kicker to beat. Down inside the 5. Walter Thurman, who had the pick at the end of the half, but was beaten consistently by Des Bryant, takes the second half kickoff back 91 yards.
We talked about this just before halftime, and if you were Mike Bellotti in Oregon, you were thinking, you know what, we played poorly, but we're still in this football game. Guarantee you, Jesse, they went at halftime and said, guys, let's regroup, let's get it going, and a big play like this to come out surely lifts them up.
The best way to start the half, no question about it, create instant field position with your special teams. Walter Thurman, monster return to put these guys in a goal-to-go scenario to make this thing a one-possession game right away.
Also by Johnny Thomas, who finally forced Thurman down at the 3-yard line. It's Jeremiah Johnson shifting now to the left of Masoli on first and goal. Johnson picking his way near the goal line, stop short.
You know, this offense here versus Oklahoma State's red zone scoring offense, they come out and they do the same thing, right? They spread you out and they can still power you inside.
Well, they have that ability, and they have Jeremiah Johnson. They also have the availability of a 230-pound running back like Garrett Blunt, and Jeremiah Masoli can run it himself. Very, very dangerous team when they get down very close to the end zone.
It's almost a lock. At 22 out of 24 touchdowns in this situation. Masoli just hammers across the goal line for a touchdown. So Oregon's two scoring drives have been a long one of one play and a very short one of two plays. And wow, Thurman, you got to hand it to him. It was a rough first half for him until he makes the pick and now the kickoff return.
Well, it's amazing because I was thinking about how is this Oregon team going to respond coming out of the gates, really. They're used to scoring 42 points a game. They only have 7. Are they dejected? Do they try to reinvent the wheel on the playbook? No, they come out. Great return by Walter Thurman. All of a sudden now we're back in the game.
8th rushing touchdown of the year for Masoli. And the conversion does make it a 3-point game. 45 seconds into the third quarter. And the Pokes will get the football back up just 3. Now, the big star for the first half offensively for Oklahoma State, Des Bryant, of course. He had that look. He had that bounce in his step in the warm-up, but he was obviously involved. 3 catches in the opening drive. He went out, it was a knee injury, but the good news is we expected to see him in the second half. The x-rays were negative.
Okay, now this is a dangerous scenario for Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State. Now you've got your football team over there, and they are so used to having Des Bryant on the field playing for them, right? If he comes out and he's not 100%, you know, does that deflate your offense? You know, you've got to have a guy, you've got to have the team step up here.
I think regardless of whether or not Des Bryant comes back and plays in this game, Oklahoma State has to get Kendall Hunter going. He's a guy who's averaging 126 yards a game. He only has 20 yards up to this point. They have to keep him involved regardless of whether or not Des Bryant's presence is back on the perimeter.
Yeah, Hunter averages 6.7 per carry. He's really been held in check, and it hasn't looked all that comfortable. His frustration, I think, is shown.
Yeah.
He's worn on here.
And if I were his running back coach, I'd say, hey, Kendall, you know what? I know you're frustrated, but you've got to run past some arm tackles. Quit dancing in the backfield. Let's break some tackles first. Let's get some 3 and 4 and 5 yard gains first.
It's a very short kick. Rushing up to take it just at the 20-yard line is Victor Johnson, the true freshman who fights out to the 30-yard line. Aaron, what's the latest on the condition of Mr. Bryant?
Well, Des Bryant, as you mentioned, had x-rays. They were negative. He even had a chance to see an orthopedist back in the training room, Chris, and they said he's fine. He's good to go. He does have a protective sleeve on his knee. Now, it was funny. When Walter Thurmond ran that back, Jesse, you had mentioned how Des Bryant runs like he's angry. He was running up and down this sideline like he was ticked off about that. So he's going to try to give it a go and see what can happen, guys.
We'll see if Thurman's winded. He's guarding Bryant here. Number 6 on number 1. It's Robinson rolling to his right. Takes a shot along the sidelines, and that's a catch made over there by Damian Davis, who has had some big games this year, often benefiting from the double coverage that Bryant draws.
You know, I was watching away from the play right there. I was watching Des Bryant to see how he was running. He tried to run a shallow cross. Craig, you're shaking your head because you saw the same thing I did. Not very confident. That was nowhere near full speed.
Play action, and Robinson will throw it downfield on 2nd and short. And along the sidelines, once again, it's Damian Davis. He beat Jarris Bird, so maybe Bryant will just be a decoy.
Absolutely, Fowler. Way to go again. You're on top of it there. Way to go, Vern. You're on it. That's exactly what he is. He's a decoy right here early in this quarter. May not stay the rest of the game there, but definitely drawing that coverage over their opposite side of the field.
Remember, it was Missouri that left Damian Davis alone. He had a couple of huge catches in that win in Columbia.
Official timeout. The previous play is under review.
We're going to take another look to see if, in fact, that was a catch. It looked okay.
I think it was a catch. I think his foot came down in. I think his knee also came down in as well. And Damian Davis, 6'5". He's a big target. You see, he's got possession there, the right foot down.
No doubt.
Yeah,
that's
sure
a catch.
What the issue is. Yeah.
But, you know, watching Des Bryant, isn't it interesting? We're sitting here looking to see if he's got it away from the
and maybe he's just playing possum. Do you think he's...
Yeah, that's a mighty big possum he's out there running around with right now, because he does not look like...
Maybe he gains confidence.
Could be.
Chip Taylor, the receiver coach right there. Another Texan, right?
You know, funny story is they had Des Bryant go up to the secondary coach at Oregon this week, and he tapped him on the shoulder, and he says, "Coach, you know who I am?"
The ruling on the field is confirmed.
It is a catch.
So Des Bryant says to the secondary coach at Oregon, he goes, "You know who I am, Coach?" And he goes, "Des?" He goes, "Yes, I am. I'm your worst nightmare."
That's not Bryant's personality. They put him up to it.
They put him up to it. It was a fun joke. It was a great personality.
He was their worst nightmare. It came true in the first half. Unstoppable. Now we'll see if he is just a decoy or if he can continue to make plays. They fake it to Hunter. Robinson fires over the middle, and it's Bryant making the catch. Down inside the 15.
Single coverage again on Des Bryant, and that time Oregon decided to bring the safety in the box. They were anticipating run. They made that an 8-man front. Des Bryant able to take advantage of that on the outside.
He's dragging the left leg. No question about that. This is a warrior on the football field right now that's, like you said, though, Chris, maybe he starts to gain a little confidence.
Look at the hands. He's got some of the biggest, strongest hands in college football. He kind of caught that on the bottom of the football there.
Call that snow coning the football.
Robinson rolls to his right, throws back to his left, and overthrew Pettigrew. Had the tight end open.
You know, this is a great design play here. Zach Robinson just got a little pressure on him. Pettigrew, one of those guys, again, just sneaks around, lays low in the weeds. He's very patient with his route running and spreads that Oregon defense out.
Yeah, he's still looking for his first touchdown catch of the season. As good as he is, as big in NFL future as everybody says he doesn't have a touchdown. It was right there for him.
Well, here's maybe a reason why this ball got overthrown a little bit. He needs to obviously complete that. Nick Reed absolutely leveled Zach Robinson.
Yeah, it should have been a flag there.
Should have been a flag.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
2nd and 10. Robinson fires, and it's intercepted. A very poor throw, and Jarris Bird stepped in front of Bryant and takes it back to the 40. So maybe too much focus on the All-American. Bird was right there.
Well, and you saw that coming from a mile away. You go back and you watch Des Bryant's body language on this route. He just kind of runs a fade. He's not running full speed. He puts his hands up in the air as if he wanted this to be a jump ball. Zach Robinson has said decides to throw the line drive.
The problem with it here for Des Bryant is on a bad ball or a ball thrown behind him, like we see the stop routes all the time, he doesn't have the legs to stop and go make the adjustment to make the catch right now.
Yeah, Craig, but clearly he wanted a different ball thrown there, right?
Yeah, maybe, but if you got to figure out somebody else to go to now. You can't rely on Des Bryant.
They like to rely on Jeremiah Johnson. The Ducks would. Picks up about 7 on first down.
I think what you get into right now for Oklahoma State is what is the point of diminishing returns of having a not 100% Des Bryant on the field? If he's 80%, 90%, is that better than having his backup in who can go full speed?
Jesse, he just said there he pointed up. I think you're right, Chris. He was looking for the ball up high in the back of the end zone, not one behind him.
Johnson again. And he runs smack into Ricky Price. Price, the guy, got run over by Masoli in the first half. He delivered the blow that time.
Yes, he did. He brought the wood. Now we're going to see this Oklahoma State defense. They have to step up. They know they've got their All-American over there that's hurting on offense. It's up to their defense to step up.
What about Oregon, though? Do you stick with the status quo? Do you stick with the game plan? 7 points in the first half. Do you stick with it? Or do you think at halftime they went in the locker room and maybe started looking for some other answers?
Had trouble converting on third downs in the first half. Just 2 of 7. They get this one. Aaron Scott on the short route crosses midfield.
That's the answer for me right there. Circle him here. He had 3 catches for 72 yards in the first half. He's a playmaker, leading receiver for him. Get the ball into the hands of somebody who's doing something on the field.
Well, this offense is so used to big plays and scoring quickly and scoring on long plays, but this is something that they were lacking in the first half. They have to become more efficient in the short passing game. If that means jailbreak screens, flanker screens, so be it, but you have to be able to pick up short yardage through the air as well.
It's only a first down throw. Almost intercepted. Jacob Lacey stepped in front of the receiver. That was pick 6 the other way. Couldn't hold on.
Well, the senior knows how to read routes, knows how to run the right angle. Boy, this is how you do it, Jesse. When you see that, you know what the route's going to be. Lacey, the way he goes to the angle.
Absolutely. He reads it well. And you know what? It's funny. 3 seniors in that secondary for Oklahoma State. They do a very good job in route recognition and understanding when the ball comes out. They've been getting a very good jump on the ball in this game tonight.
That's Lacey's 40th start. He gets high praise from opposing coaches in the Big 12. They really respect his ability. Masoli fires far side, and this one is intercepted by the other corner, Paris Cox.
Cox is just a junior, but he played that ball like a senior. He watched the last play, and it was an exact replica of jumping the route, going back for the football.
Glenn Spencer, the acting defensive coordinator tonight for Oklahoma State, told us they have great speed in the secondary and a lot of seniority. He feels very comfortable and confident playing man coverage, and that's why. And you cannot play that any better.
Yeah, you know what? Jason Williams-Ford didn't have the traction to plant and properly come back for the football as much as the defensive back Cox did.
And you see Glenn Spencer, he kind of has a country music singer look to him, like he should have a buckskin jacket and a guitar or something. He's got to be pleased with his defense tonight. This is Tostin. He's hammered after about a yard.
How about Oregon's defensive line? They are just not letting Oklahoma State find a gap.
They stop the run. That's always their first priority. Alioti will tell you, they sell out to stop the run. They've been hurt, obviously, by the throwing of Robinson.
Well, we talked about how good Oregon is running the football. Oklahoma State averaging 256 yards themselves. That's 7 in the country right now. Only 72 yards on the ground.
Only averaging 3 yards per rush tonight. Bryant is in the ballgame at the top of the formation. They look for Bryant on the far side. He went outside. He was covered by a linebacker, Spencer Paysinger.
Well, it was a zone defense. Spencer Paysinger was running to the flat and almost got under that football. You see still, though, Mike Gundy calling a lot of plays for Des Bryant. The ball is being predicated to be thrown at Des Bryant, even though he's not 100%.
Need 8 yards on this third down. More defense by a lot than we thought we'd see in this ballgame. Robinson was looking to Bryant all the way. Now he dumps it off short and short of the first down. Poston well covered right there by Eddie Pleasant, the backup linebacker.
Oh, man, what an outstanding job by Eddie Pleasant. This is Nick Aliotti's specialty now. Defensive coordinator knows how to coach him up. When Pleasant saw the route, he had zone coverage, but he sucked up the receiver immediately.
Well, Nick Aliotti, they're only sending 3 players in to get him, so a lot of guys back watching the football. Great job of tackling in space.
First punt tonight by the Ray Guide Award winner. Matt Foch didn't punt often enough. Only 31 all season to qualify in the NCAA stats, but he was still named as the top punter in the country. That was not one of his better efforts. A flag is down on the punt. Kind of a low, ugly kick. Rusty.
Can a punter get rusty?
Sure he can. He hasn't been in much practice.
Oh, man.
31 punts all season, Craig, is not a lot, in case you... All right, fellas, let's sort it out.
Oh, we got some guys yelling at each other here on the Oklahoma State side.
After the play, personal foul. Kicking team number 44. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
It's Donald Booker on the special teams guilty of the 15-yard penalty. So instead of being pinned back, Oregon's field position improves. They'll take over at the 37. Now trailing just 3 here in San Diego. Our Pacific Life game summary, it was Des Bryant. A fast start for the Cowboys. The All-American receiver involved 9 catches in the first half. Scored a touchdown there before he left the game with a left knee injury. Good start for Zach Robinson. The Cowboys built a 17-7 lead. The only points in the first half coming on a touchdown run from Jeremiah Johnson. But Oregon get the big kickoff return from Thurman to start the third quarter. 2-play, 3-yard touchdown drive. They've tightened it up. And 5 straight stops for the Oregon defense. Missed field goal, stopped on downs, 2 interceptions, and just forced a punt.
False start. Offense. 68. 5-yard penalty. The down remains first.
They got C.E. Kaiser, who's playing this game with some concussion symptoms of virus. He did not start at that right tackle position, replaced by Mark Asper, but has been able to go tonight. And makes it 1st and 15. Fired back on the left side, juggled by Holland. And that blew up the timing of the play. Levine there to tackle him for a loss.
Again, there's another ball. I'm going to call that the 4th drop tonight by Oregon receivers.
The drop had been better because they lose yardage.
Yeah, you know what? You got to make the catch, make a play, make a miss, do something. If you drop it, you have no shot of a game.
Well, and again, the screen pass has been really the only effective tool in the short passing game for Oregon so far tonight.
I saw Chip Kelly at halftime. The offense is so used to scoring quickly. They don't really know what to do when they get frustrated like this. This is Masoli taking off, and it'll be a makeable 3rd down attempt here at 9 yards. But they just get in this rhythm where they score so quickly. It's been frustrating for them.
Well, that's why I wonder about the psyche of an offense like this, because as a player, you prepare for a month. You watch the same tape, you put the game plan in early, you practice for a month. You're used to scoring 42 points a game. You come out, it's not working. Do you go in the tank? Because where do you go from here?
Let's see if they can get 8 yards. They throw downfield, but again, miscommunication way over the head of Holland, and Lacey was defending.
And that was a result of pressure from Oklahoma State.
Andre Sexton came in there.
He sure did. You know, Sexton's been a heck of a player for this team all season and for his whole career. But this was really an Oklahoma State defense. They stepped up for their offense that's trying to get a little traction with Des Bryant on the side.
And now look who's back deep. To receive the punt, Josh Shirey. It is Bryant. He's taken a pair back to the end zone this season. Averages 17.9. And they punt it well away from him, right out of bounds. Give him no chance, bad knee or not, to make a play. As it is, it sets up the Cowboys at the 30-yard line. Coronado Island, one of the beautiful destinations here in San Diego. Not a bad place to live. They don't have sea lions in Stillwater. Andre Sexton Swapping spit there with a new friend at SeaWorld.
Oh, man, Cabo, he dated a girl once named Mrs. Cabo, maybe, but I guarantee he was scared he was going to get chomped on the cheek.
Sexton had a big season. Never thought it would end with a smooch on the sea line. Top tackler for the Oklahoma State defense. And now it's Robinson back to work, firing over the middle and over the head. Bryant continues to lock in and look for his All-American, but Robinson's been a little bit off in this second half. As we check back with Reese Davis for a Sports Center right now.
All right, Chris, coaching carousel continues to spin after 14 seasons. Mike Shanahan done as the Broncos head coach. He did win 2 Super Bowls, as you well know, with John Elway at the helm, but just 24-24 over the last 3 seasons. Another night, another top 5 team going down. This time it's Oklahoma, who fell on the road at Arkansas despite Willie Warren's 35. Sports Center after the game. Stay current, ESPN News.
And this is an option keeper for Robinson, who is just hammered at the 35. Hops up quickly. T.J. Ward, the junior safety, caught the lumber. Just a violent collision.
Woo! Jesse, I know.
Now he's starting to feel it after the fact.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Watch, just listen at the end of this play. T.J. Ward.
Ooh. He just gets folded in half.
Oh, wow.
What makes it worse is that Oklahoma State was guilty of a hold. That play didn't even really count. That's not an official play. Robinson hopped up quickly, but after he got up, you could tell it had an effect on him.
I was going to say, I give Zach Robinson a lot of credit for popping back up as fast as he did like that, but you see the after effects of hits like that late in the game. He's been getting popped a lot in the second half.
Mark that play right there, because he just threw one ball high over Bryant. Mark it.
And he got hit pretty good by Nick Reed in the first half. And a questionable non-call of a potential late hit. 2nd and 20 after the holding penalty. Good protection this time, but Pettigrew can't hold on. So all of a sudden, it's the Cowboys' offense starting to misfire.
You know, and maybe it's not so much great defense right now as it is just, like you said, a lot of misfires on offense, not in rhythm, not in sync. We've seen a lot of drop passes on both sides. Both quarterbacks a little bit inaccurate right now as well.
And you know what? Oregon's defense, they're on the field more than anybody in the country, right? Like 973 snaps this season. That's crazy. So this defense now, they've only been out there for 55 snaps. Their offense is starting to catch up now, and it's giving them a breather.
Trying to get a 6th straight stop of this Oklahoma State offense that was unstoppable in the first 3 possessions. And that's almost intercepted. So Robinson now just 4 of 10, and he got hit again.
Jesse, he's not seeing it here. Look at the 3-man rush. There's 8 dropping in the secondary. He's been banged around Nick Reed earlier in the game. And we just saw the one that T.J. Ward smoked him with.
Well, and these hits have a lasting effect on a quarterback. Believe me, you'll carry that with you as a quarterback the remainder of the game.
Ripping the helmet as Fudge comes on to punt. And a rugby punt, very ugly low kick on the bounce. Fielded very well by Bird. And Jarris Bird, who had the interception earlier in this quarter, takes it back to the 40-yard line. The Ducks will start in plus territory, down by 3. 3 games on New Year's Eve day, beginning at noon Eastern time. The Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl, Houston against Air Force, BC against Vandy, the Commodores' home city. And then the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Yellow Jackets make it back-to-back wins over the SEC. 7:30 game.
Like Houston and Air Force already played each other this year. It was a game that the Air Force won 31-28 at a neutral site. That's a great game because it pits a great passing offense versus a very, very good running offense.
Air Force won that without completing a pass. They beat Houston that Garrett Blunt is in the ball game, but it's Jeremiah Masoli, physical keeper by the quarterback. Heads for the end zone. We said he was a little bit thick. He'll look up a DB and blow him up, and that was Quentin Moore who just got destroyed in the secondary.
Mike Bellotti said that right now Jeremiah Masoli understands how to run the read option as well as Dennis Dixon did after 3 years. Bring it to the house.
He didn't even try to run around him. He actually hunted up Quentin Moore, ran right over him at 5'10", 215, that low center of gravity, ran him right over.
the Ducks take their first lead of the night. Flint adds the conversion. Oregon, sparked by that second-half kickoff return, has taken momentum in this game.
It's the Holiday Bowl. What do you expect?
No, they didn't expect this in the secondary of Oklahoma State, getting run over by the quarterback. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Jeremiah Masoli has given Oregon its first lead, and congratulations from head coach Mike Bellotti. A big smile from the quarterback, who's really struggled as a passer tonight, but that play will spark a team. All season long, he voted the Pontiac Game-Changing Performers of the Week. It's now down to 4 for the Performance of the Year. Michael Crabtree's catch, Buffalo's late pass to beat Temple, Arkansas's touchdown to beat LSU, and Bama's pick in overtime to beat LSU.
For me, it was your expression on the sideline, the Crabtree touchdown. Priceless.
I think that was
priceless.
That was a play that did reshape the championship chase for sure. ESPN.com, search Pontiac or Pontiac.com. Here's the short pooch kickoff. It's fielded. The 37-yard line, very short return by Donald Booker. Oh, again, you're going to show this again.
Well, why not?
It's the best play of the year.
The double clutch, too. You're there. Oh. And you re-clutch as he takes off.
Because right there you realize, oh my gosh, he caught it. He's going to score. There's a second to go. Texas is going down, and the championship chase is all changed before your eyes.
You thought it was finished, didn't you? You know, and your buddy Chris Felica standing next to you looking at the scoreboard.
You guys got a lot of mileage out of that. Everybody in the truck, too. Okay, that's... Hey. All right, now we'll see how the expression changes in the faces of the Cowboys. This is a new experience down in this ballgame for the first time. It's Robinson taking off. He's stopped in a shoestring tackle, and a very good one there by Tukuafu.
Don't you like
that? Might have
that?
been a bigger gain.
Well, you wonder right now, I wonder right now, if Oregon defensively is smelling blood. You got an All-American wide receiver in Des Bryant, not 100%. All-American running back in Kendall Hunter, who has not had his presence felt in this game yet, and you're starting to rattle Zach Robinson with some big hits.
I like the fact that they come out and he runs the football.
Yeah.
Show him I'm not giving up. I'm not in the tank. No white flag here.
And they fire far side. This is Bryant. He gets a block and gets the first down, and that'll be the Holiday Bowl record for receptions. Bryant, who had 9 in the first half, matching the record held by Roy Williams of Texas and David Mills of BYU.
Completely admire Zach Robinson for sucking it up and not letting the big hits affect him, getting the ball out to Bryant. And how about Des Bryant being a warrior in this game?
And staying in the game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Damian Davis doing a nice job on the perimeter on that screen, going to the second level, knocking the defender down.
Cowboys haven't scored since their first 3 possessions, scoreless since the first quarter. Handed to Hunter. And still nowhere to run. Casey Matthews, brother of Clay, part of that USC defense, makes the stop. Aaron?
Chris, Craig was talking about just Zach Robinson sucking it up right now. He's been grabbing his lower back throughout this entire third quarter, obviously from all the hits he's been taking. And think about it, after he took that huge hit, came over on the sideline and wasn't here for very long because as we saw Jeremiah Masoli run that touchdown in. So he didn't get much time. Trainers, Mike Gundy walked over, said, "Are you okay?" He just pushed him away, ran back out on the field.
Yeah, he's known for his toughness, Aaron, leadership, all those intangibles. They like that about Robinson as much as they do his running ability in his arm. And 2nd and 7. Batted away. They tried to get it to Hunter. Getting a hand up was Cole Linehan.
What I do like from Mike Gundy right now offensively is although his quarterback has taken some big hits, you've seen a lot of the quick passing game right now. He's not allowing for slow developing plays to allow Zach Robinson to be in the pocket, taking big hits, catch the ball, and get it out of your hands.
Do you notice Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, bringing a little more pressure along that line of scrimmage? It just seems like there are a lot more Oregon Ducks around the quarterback right now.
5 for his last 18 passes. There's Reed, hasn't had a sack yet tonight. And working against Russell Okung, fine junior left tackle for the Cowboys. And they run it. And Robinson gets the first down. And inside the 30.
Okay, now they've had success with this now a few times, and it's really the result of the outside. Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end. Watch him on the left side, 87. Oregon's defense is trying to run beyond and get to the perimeter. They're forgetting about the quarterback.
Well, how about the play call in 3rd and 7 to run the quarterback up the middle like that? Again, Mike Gundy told us if they're going to win the game tonight, Zach Robinson has to run the football effectively.
He's got a match right now, Jeremiah Masoli, doesn't he? You know, Masoli stepped up for Oregon. Robinson's got to do the same for the Cowboys.
This time they fake the option, drops back to throw, and has a man wide open. Damian Davis down inside the 5. Little wrinkle there.
A great design play. This looks just like the freeze option they've been running all game so long.
You know what, on the outside, watch the patient on the left side of your screen. You can't see the receiver, how patient the receiver was. He breaks down like he's going to block, and then up the field. Excellent execution and patience.
We talked about one player having to take over the load for Des Bryant. I think it's been Damian Davis so far in the second half.
3 catches for 66 yards, the other wide receiver on this team. 1st and goal, Hunter's in the game. And he's got it. Stand-up touchdown for Kendall Hunter, and the Cowboys retake the lead. Answer for the answer.
Mike Gundy said he had to work on his short yardage goal line offense. Let's see if they've got angles. There's an angle right there. Let's see what happens here. They were going to call plays designed to give blocking angles, great execution, and the time off that they worked on with it works.
Just a great answer by Oklahoma State there. After Jeremiah Masoli runs over a defender, sparks momentum for his football team, Oklahoma State comes back out and answers right away.
Yeah, within 3 minutes they regain the lead. It's been a frustrating night at times for Hunter. Only averaging 2.7 on his 10 carries, but he does have a pair of touchdowns. Another reminder that the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi, 4:30 Eastern Time, 1:30 on the West Coast. The Nittany Lions and Joe Paterno, who's going to try to be on the sidelines for the ball game, against Pete Carroll's Trojans. A test for that Penn State offense against the mighty Trojan defense. But the Lions bring a good defense as well.
Absolutely. You know, and when you speak with Tom Bradley, their defensive coordinator, Tom doesn't talk about really any one individual guy. He's got some good players. But he talks about the no-name defense and how they all work together. I like watching them play.
I'm curious to see. Penn State is very explosive offensively. All those wide receivers. Daryl Clark has been tremendously efficient this year. But again, it's, I think, without question, the best defense we've seen in college football this year from USC. Maybe one of the best we've ever seen in college football.
And I know Stanley Havili, their fullback at USC, I didn't check with him today. They may have announced that he was going to play, but he was maybe academically ineligible for this ball game. They don't have their number 2 fullback, so they'd have to move a tight end to fullback. Havili is a key component of that Trojans offense.
Which offensive line can protect the quarterback? So the Ducks have been playing from behind all night. They had the brief lead. Now down by 3 again as Thurman, who had the big kick return to start this half, takes off again, loses the football, hurdled a man, then dropped the ball, and a big pile up at the 35. There is some fighting going on at the bottom of it. Oregon gets it back. And that is a huge break for the Ducks, because Thurman can thank DeWitt Stuckey for coming up with the football.
All week long I've said that I felt like I was covering a regular season big game. The intensity was there. You've seen it in their practice and everything else. I'm now seeing a notch come up again.
You see that his knee came up and knocked the ball out.
It was an unbelievable hurdle move, but his right knee actually pokes the football out. You see, he doesn't have the football tucked away. It's dangling out loose, and his knee actually was what caused that fumble.
How do you protect against that? Watch your right knee.
Just tuck the football away.
This is LeGarrette Blount, the big fella, just slipping and dropped for a loss. Lemon there to smother him. He had trouble with his footing.
But what I was saying is, did y'all get the feeling, though, in covering this game, that it wasn't just a bowl game? You had a conference against another conference. You had pride on the line, a lot of respect for each other.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. It felt like a big regular season
I felt like a regular season, big week game.
It feels like a big game. I think both teams clearly weren't treating this as a pleasure cruise. They wanted badly to win. Finish the season on a good note. There's a low throw. Scott scoops it up, but a short game. I agree that both teams took it seriously. I just think that.
Well, Bellotti said, you know, the greatest respect that you have for each other during the week is when you don't hear smack talking. That usually comes from insecurity or, you know, just big mouths. This week, both teams really eyeing each other, respecting each other.
Well, the tangible things they're trying to achieve, a 10-win season, perhaps a finish in the top 10 of the poll. And there's an outside throw and an outstanding catch by Scott. A couple of drops in the first half, but give him credit there.
But there's a throw that Jeremiah Mazzoli missed earlier in the game. With pressure in his face, trying to throw the back shoulder ball to his wide receiver, hangs in the pocket, delivers the football confidently, and a nice job by Terrence Scott securing the football, watching it in.
Sixth catch for Scott for 94 yards. Garrett Blunt to the left of Mazzoli. They fake it to him, and now a throw in the flat, and it was a dangerous throw. Is that a lateral? What's the ruling? Oklahoma State football. Ricky Price fell on it. It was Jeffrey Mail there. That was very close to being a forward pass.
Did they rule on the field? Obviously they did. They ruled that it was a lateral. It's really close.
Well, I'll tell you what's amazing about this play. If Ricky Price had looked sooner, it looked like he could have intercepted that lateral and taken it into the house, but he slips. You're going to see zone read. Mazzoli keeps it. Now, as he's running, his key is to throw it out wide. Now, Ricky Price slips. Had he not, he could have caught it, but great job in awareness, keeping the play alive to jump on it.
I think that Mail was set up to receive a lateral, but Mazzoli actually threw that ball too far forward. That was very close to being a forward pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, you know, that was close.
Now, I think it was a correct call.
Yeah, I think
it was
so
a lateral
too.
barely, so the turnover. And this is Bryant on the far sidelines. He makes the catch, but does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Paysinger stops him. The Ducks down by 3, trying to answer, got a big conversion, then the turnover.
Then you get sudden change, and again, it's a young quarterback in Jeremiah Mazzoli that was playing junior college at City College of San Francisco last year. Great touchdown run, comes back on the field, turns it over right away.
I won a championship with that junior college.
Yeah, as a true freshman.
I really like the way Oklahoma State, when they get to the line, they're putting mental pressure as well as physical pressure on Oregon's defense. They've got to get up, commit, get down. I just like it. I like the constant pressure they're putting on.
It's great tempo to watch.
Hunter, he'll be dropped for a loss. Great pursuit by Paysinger. He's an ex-wide receiver, just a great athlete. They had to find a way to get him on the field, and he's found a home at linebacker.
Well, you see the speed and his ability to run sideline to sideline. Really running these options against him is not necessarily your best matchup because he can chase these running backs down.
Both linebackers have impressed me at Oregon tonight, but they know where the play's going to the perimeter. Paysinger doesn't waste time. He gets there. He gets to the play.
This should be a big stand for the Oregon defense after the turnover. They'll force a stop. 3rd and 14. Robinson flushed and sacked. First time tonight. It's Rashawn Harris, his 3rd of the season. And what a stand by the Ducks defense. And put in tough position on their end of the field after the fumble.
Yeah, you know what? I thought that Zach Robinson here was really trying to lock in and find Des Bryant on the left side. Not a lot of legs to work to get separation. There's great bracketing.
Well, because of that coverage also and the physicality up front, you notice Des Bryant had to break that route off way early. That route was intended to get near the first down markers.
And that series, they lose 1 yard, 3 yards, 4 yards, and now Fodge dropped the punt snap. There was no pressure, so he gets it away. But here goes Jarris Bird. This game has turned wacky all of a sudden. You know, the Yellow Book Future Pros features a couple of guys who will be draft prospects. We talked about Pettigrew, the senior. Todd McShay and the Scouts Inc. guys say he's 21st overall. Very good for a tight end. And Chung on the other side is safety. 3rd best at that position.
I think what the scouts love about Brandon Pettigrew is while he does have great size at 6'6" and he can work the middle of the field catching the football, he's also a great blocker. And on the flip side, Patrick Chung, complete headhunter back there in the secondary, loves to hit.
This is Johnson. stiff arm as he's forced out after about 7.
This is that point in the game where you say it's getting a little bit wacky, but if you're on defense, you have to remind yourself that you're going against option offenses right now, and you must maintain discipline. We've seen Jeremiah Johnson in that first quarter take off and go a long ways.
Hurry up for the Ducks, and it's Masoli firing in the sidelines. It's Scott, pushed out inside the 45.
We just talked about Oklahoma State, how great their tempo was in terms of getting up to the line of scrimmage and get going. Right there you see Oregon doing the same thing. Oklahoma State kind of just lingering around, not keeping their head in, and Oregon coming up, snapping the ball and going.
Some Oregon players were telling us yesterday, you know, the perception is out there that the Pac-10 is soft and the Big 12 is slow. So kind of expected Oregon to test to see if Oak State could keep up with them in speed.
Johnson, stutter steps, gets away. And he's spun down after about 6 by Quentin Moore.
That was a heck of a play.
That's the perception of the fans out there?
I think the players. I think the players were looking at it as that people around talk about us being soft in the Pac-10 and slow in the Big 12.
Masoli fires wide open. Has the tight end Dixon. And inside the 20.
That's the exact same play that Jeremiah Masoli just completed a pass to Terrence Scott 2 plays ago. You see better patience now, looking over the middle of the field, getting through his progression.
And you saw the tight end Dixon that time. He wasn't lined up tight. He was in a slot out wide right, so moving him around. Chip Kelly making some adjustments, other options down the field for his quarterback.
Masoli takes off and scores. He doesn't let mistakes bother him. The backward pass that results in the fumble shakes it off. His second touchdown run of the night, and the Ducks regain the lead.
Talked about the discipline required late in the football game. Watch backside. Watch what happens with your defensive end. Backside, this is what's being read by the quarterback. Total collapse. Pull the ball and go.
And I'm going to short him. That's a hat trick. His 3rd rushing touchdown in this quarter. And the Ducks, they're down, giving up that fumble. Look like they might be going into a bigger hole. That defense, I think, sparked him. The great stand, gets the ball back, and Masoli, 3rd rushing touchdown tonight.
It should have come as a monster surprise. We talk about Jeremiah Johnson with Garrett Blunt, but Jeremiah Masoli, 10th in the Pac-10, coming into this game running the football.
You know, how about Zach Robinson, though, taking the hits. A late hit, wasn't called right there. Blown up from inside by Ward. He jumps up, though, and he stays in the game.
And on the flip side, Jeremiah Masoli giving the hits. He's been a monster, hunting down the Oklahoma State secondary, running after them and delivering the punishment.
But both players being productive in their ways.
It's been a frustrating night at times throwing the ball from Masoli, although he kind of regained his marksmanship in that drive. Now it's Robinson's turn to try to answer.
I think Terrence Scott, number 8 for Oregon, has stepped up in a nice way in the second half to give him some options on the outside and some plays with his hands.
This is what we thought we might get. He had 28 points in this quarter after only 24 in the first half. 21 seconds to play in this period. And Chip Kelly was saying, you know, Mike Bellotti giving him, get him out of there. One game earlier this season, Masoli wasn't playing well, and he lit him up. Dropped a few bombs on their phones and said, well, you got one more series and you're out of here. Masoli would not have scored. And they said, next time on the phone, what was that, Coach? Is that all right?
Is that good enough for him? Is that okay?
Victor Johnson on the return is stopped short of the 25-yard line. It's the Outback Bowl, New Year's morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time. South Carolina and Iowa. You know, Steve Spurrier landed down there in Tampa. The first question to him was, because the Lions are going 0-16, Spurrier was a part of the Tampa Bay Bucks team that was winless. I don't think the ball coach did not expect to get that question.
How about in this football game, South Carolina quarterbacks have thrown 24 interceptions. That's second most in the country, and they got to deal with Sean Green, the Doak Walker Award winner.
Is that a lean in that game to Iowa for you?
Very narrowly. I had a tough one in my Bowl Mania. I think I gave that my 5 spot.
That means not much confidence?
Not a lot of confidence at all.
This is Hunter trying to create his first big run of the night. Rips off 9 there, which should be the last play of the third quarter. Defenses have had their moments. There have been some offensive miscues, but with 15 minutes to play, the offenses have found their rhythm. It's a 4-point game. The Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, 15 minutes to play. Should be a good one. Pacific Life Holiday Bowl will be decided in the final 15 minutes. Each team able to answer. It's the Ducks with a 4-point lead. The home of Shamu.
If I keep eating like I have been, I'm going to be one of those.
Some of the players had a good time out there. Jeremiah Johnson, there's no way I'm getting near a killer whale, a sea lion, none of that stuff.
Doesn't trust him, huh?
No, he did get to pet a cheetah at the zoo, he told me, which is a highlight. Robinson over the middle, it's Bryant. Des Bryant darts down inside the 40. Even with a bum wheel, he's still dangerous.
Great anticipation by Zach Robinson here on this throw. He throws the football before Des Bryant even turns around to see where the ball's coming from.
And he's on the field. Bryant gripping that left knee, which was the problem in the first half.
Been there, done that. Understand that feeling right now. You start to feel like you're really okay, and you make that dramatic cut. You don't protect your leg, and all of a sudden that inside of that knee just collapses. Right now, running really, I think, Jesse, about as well as we've seen him run in the second half.
Yeah, just watching that, though, it still seemed like it wasn't 100% even running down, but you see he knows it as he's being brought down here. Right here, he knows it.
He had 31 yards in that play. His 13th catch. Again, he's got the Holiday Bowl record for receptions in a game, and that may be his final one. Here's how it happened earlier in the game. The awkward stop. He loses footing on his right foot, but watch the left knee.
Yeah, I think, and that capsule, as they talk about, on the left knee opens up pretty good. You see that? And terrible turf out here.
Here's the backwards pass. Bo Dowling throws it back to Robinson, who's got all kinds of room. Stopped at the 15. He ran right into Thurman, but the trick play works.
You know what? How about Mike Gundy, though? This guy here coming up with a play that he loses Des Bryant, comes out, watch the total collapse of Oregon's defense. Look at everybody move to the right side of your screen.
Well, and it's a nice job throwing the perfect lateral, gives his receiver a catchable ball so he can get it back to him early, and then it's just the athleticism of Zach Robinson as he gets upended at the end of that play.
Walter Thurman with a great play in open space to keep from the touchdown.
He had so many blockers out there, it looked like he was headed for the end zone. Thurman stepped up, stopped him at the 14. They fake the reverse, flip it off to Hunter. He tries to cut back, and he stopped after about a 7-yard gain. So Robinson has 315 passing, 41 rushing, and 21 receiving. Pretty good night.
Pretty good night. All of a sudden, this game started off offensive showcase, gets into a little bit of a depression, a defensive depression. And now here we are all of a sudden coming out of that bad economy. Offense is back on both sides of the football.
And one of the guys who stepped up and his stock's risen in the second half has been Kendall Hunter. We didn't see Hunter in the first half. Now he's starting to make some plays for his stockbroker.
See Patrick Chung, one of the defensive leaders, out of the ball game as the Cowboys go to a 2 tight end set. It's Pettigrew on the left of the formation. 1 second down. Hunter hammers inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
Very impressed with Oklahoma State. We talked about how they had a lot of problems coming into this game in goal-to-go situations running the football, but they've been very, very physical tonight running in this part of the field, Craig.
Absolutely. Mike Gundy was trying to figure out a way that he could get creative with his blocking.
Believe this, Des Bryant limping back in the ballgame on 1st and goal.
He's got man coverage outside.
Keeper by Robinson to the 1. Pretty safe to say he's just a decoy out there?
Yeah, I would be absolutely shocked. If they give him a jump ball fade right now, I would be absolutely shocked. I think Jarris Berg right now is looking at him thinking, you're really not out here running a route, are you?
Yeah, I would. Hey, would you go to sleep on him?
No.
I wouldn't either. Now they're looking for their angles right now. They're trying to figure out which way to go. Check with me. He's going to make a call to give himself the best blocking angles up front.
Second and goal on Skycam, and you see Robinson lunging for the goal line. No signal. Touchdown. So the late signal. Robinson able to keep it, get across, and the Pokes retake the lead.
It's a boxing match right now. Both offenses slugging away. You see Jeremiah Mazzoli running touchdowns in, 3 in the third quarter, runs another one in. Oklahoma State and Zach Robinson answer right away in the passing game and then pound it down and close.
Very impressive. An Oklahoma State team that was poor in the goal-to-goal situation. They're getting it done. They can't come away with 3s. They got to get 6s here.
That was a pretty good-looking 75-yard drive in 7 plays. Now it's got the feel like last team with the ball wins, right? This is kind of
what it was supposed to be.
This is what we anticipated coming into this game, right?
And by the way, Zach Robinson has just surpassed his head coach for the all-time career record for total offense. He's got him by 13 yards. Coach Gundy just fine with that. At stake here tonight, besides the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl trophy, 10-win season for the winner, which is a heck of an accomplishment. Oklahoma State thought to be a year away from excellence when the season began. Nobody really looked at Oregon as a 10-win team. This is Thurman. Stopped just across the 20. And some of the best kickoff coverage tonight by the Cowboys. Victor Johnson made the tackle. So we'll see if Masoli can answer now.
Well, you know what? In visiting with the coaching staff at Oklahoma State, they're well aware. These guys are not, this isn't their first rodeo, right? And they know that the #1 play that Oregon can run is the zone read by the quarterback. And they got to stop it. There's nothing really flashy about it. So they got to keep the ends at home. I'd make him give the football up the middle of the field.
It's what you said earlier, Craig. It's assignment football. The zone read basically is option football. The mesh point just happens deeper in the pocket. So it's critical right now. Oklahoma State plays great assignment football.
This is more of a conventional option and a keeper by Masoli. And he just, no fumble, he's ruled down across the 35. But I think that play by Masoli where he just absolutely flat went more in the secondary en route to a touchdown, turned around this game for Oregon.
On this one here, it's a different type of option. He's attacking the in-man line of the scrimmage, and they're losing their containment. They didn't believe at Oregon that Oklahoma State's defense was going to be disciplined enough, play in and play out, to stop them on the option tonight. It's coming true right now.
Jeremiah Johnson to the left of Masoli, 3 receivers set right. Masoli keeps it, has space, decides to throw, and one of those little run pass options, but he threw it inaccurately to Mayo.
It's funny, right now, offensively, if you're Oregon, I know Jeremiah Johnson has more yards right now, and I know he's faster and he's a game changer, but if I'm Oklahoma State defensively, my biggest fear and the biggest threat right now running the football, it is Jeremiah Mazzoli in this football game.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about it.
And what's the strength of Oklahoma State's defense? Speed, right?
Yep.
They got to run to the football. They've got to get helmets around the football.
This is the end around. And diving forward is Johnson. First down across the 45. He had the big touchdown run in the first half. It's Masoli who's done most of the damage since. He's 8 yards short of a 100-yard game.
Max Unger was one of our impact players. I want to show you what Max Unger did. Look at the center, number 60. Look at the man, 51st career start for him. Get around and lead upfield. Nice job, Mr. Unger.
You know what's amazing about him? 27 of his career starts were at left tackle. He's an unbelievable athlete playing center.
It's unbelievable. Nobody offered him a scholarship at a high school except for Oregon. Jason Williams on the catch, breaking free. Down the sideline to the 20-yard line. First impact play for the big physical receiver.
You see the speed. He ran a 10.6800 in high school, and you see those long strides going down the sidelines as they get that jailbreak receiver screen.
Oh, man, Max Unger, 60 again. Look at him on the left side, down the field, clearing block with his legs.
Leg whip. Where was the call?
But you know what? Max Unger down the field takes a lot of energy, hurts himself. That's why you don't want a leg whip.
Yeah, 31-yard gain. That's a dangerous play for the defender. You can also hurt yourself as a lineman doing that.
Yeah, but, look at the effort. This Oregon offensive line, underrated, down the field, trying to roll them up.
That's a tough kick to the ankle of Levine, who was slow to get up himself. And
delayed? It took a while to get to the brain?
Both guys limping there.
The brain took about 3 seconds to say, you're hurt?
Well, what's wild is the turf got Max Unger there as well. He was trying to set up a block. You saw him slip. The feet came out from underneath him, and that kind of forced him into it again. The turf has just been the biggest enemy of all these players tonight. We've seen a couple guys get injured because of it.
He's a Hawaiian native who was all Pac-10 as a tackle as a sophomore. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Ducks have the ball. Down by 3. And at the Pokes 20-yard line. Max Unger, the center, is on the sidelines. Jeff Kendall, the senior, is his backup. And an errant snap in the shotgun right away. Masoli, a good job to corral that snap. It's no game, but it could have been disastrous. Right off the bat, Kendall into the game, and it's a factor.
It's such a big loss losing Max Unger, not only because he's a 2-time first-team All-Pac-10 player, not only because he pulls and he's effective in the running game, it's the little things like just executing the simple shotgun snap.
One of the things, though, that you can depend on here is Kendall is a 3-year starter heading into this season. He's played every position up there. He's a versatile guy. He's been there, done that. He's just got to settle in.
Your center coming in cold. It's a different thing in a shotgun offense, isn't it? Good snap this time. Masoli looking for the end zone. Has a man. Touchdown. Williams. Terrific throw to a 6'5" target, and the Ducks regain the lead.
There were 2 options open for touchdowns. Jeffrey Mayle in the inside, and on the outside, Jason Williams. But this offensive line hung in there, made the adjustment. Look at the outside here.
Well, you see Jacob Lacey playing cornerback. He's just sinking. It's a cover 2 look. He thinks he has help, but almost looked as though maybe he was trying to bait Jeremiah Masoli into that throw. Masoli makes them pay.
Masoli adding his first touchdown pass to 3 touchdown runs. And we've got a seesaw game in San Diego. 35-31. Next up, Robinson and the Pokes offense turn to try to answer.
This could be the moment you've been waiting.
Pacific Life game summary showcasing the 2 multi-threat quarterbacks in this game. Zach Robinson, 315 yards passing, does have a couple of interceptions. He's run for 44. Masoli, 8 yards short of a 100-yard game. That was his first touchdown pass of the evening.
You'd argue that both of these guys have been effective. Robinson a little bit more throwing it, Masoli a little bit more running it, but 2 great young spread offense quarterbacks. Really the future. Dual threats that can hurt you, throwing the football and running it as well.
A smile there from Robinson, a confident look in his face as he chats with Gundy. Coming up to take the kick is Parrish Cox. And he's pushed back at the 25-yard line. There's been extra inspiration for Oregon all season, in particular here in San Diego, which is the hometown of Todd Doxey. He would have been a sophomore defensive back on this year's Oregon team, but tragically he drowned in a river near the Oregon campus in July, short of his 20th birthday. He wore number 29, and all throughout the season, the Oregon home games, his buddies, most of them defensive backs except for Mayle, the receiver, have rotated the honor of wearing Doxey's number 29. And they've had contact with the Doxey family here in San Diego this week. Talmadge Jackson, who's a backup corner wearing number 29 tonight, he presented a helmet to Doxey's grandmother at the luncheon the other day. Just a moving moment, and all season long they've kept number 29 in their hearts, especially here in his hometown of San Diego. Second and 10. Des Bryant not out there. Maybe it's finally enough with the knee tonight. Robinson pressure, trying to get away, sacked. Cole Linehan had the quick pressure. Tukuafu cleaned it up. Aaron?
Chris, just to add more about Todd Doxey, obviously talking to Coach Mike Bellotti and the Oregon players, just mentioning how this whole thing has come full circle. You know, they've been playing in his honor all season long, and to be here tonight to play in his hometown. Also his grandmother that you mentioned, nice gesture by her, handed over $2,000 to head coach Mike Bellotti that people had been raising, gave to the family. She said, here, take this in his memory, do what you would like with it. Coach Bellotti says he's going to think about what to do with it, but obviously put it towards good use.
So that was a real taste of immortality, a life lesson for his team. There's the high throw by Robinson. So Oregon's defense comes up with a big stop. The sack by Tukuafu, forcing the third and long. Tukuafu again pressuring. And here comes a punt.
With only 4. Oregon's defense was able to do that on the last 2 snaps, Jesse, with just 4 on the quarterback. Des Bryant not being out there that series, even a gimpy guy, you wonder.
Yeah, the first series where he really wasn't able to get out there at all, and not a very impressive one for the Pokes. There's the punt taken. Falling to his knees was Bird. So Oregon will take over, now protecting a 4-point lead with 9:23 to play.
Jeremiah Masoli, with the read and the quarterback strength that he has shown tonight with his legs, has been unbelievable. And this one right here, I think that was a trendsetter for the rest of the football game for his Ducks. Woke him up.
That's the most ironic thing to me is we're anticipating LeGarrette Blount to come into the game and provide that physicality in the run game, but it's actually been the quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli. And not only that, but running the ball so well in the third quarter and now throwing his first touchdown pass of the night just recently there, Jason Williams.
Keeps it, and now he'll throw it to Mayo. And Jeffrey Mayo hammers ahead for about 3.
Now
that's the play that resulted in a fumble early.
But this is what makes this offense so difficult. Spread offenses that are going to run an option, and right now Masoli's going to run the football, make no doubt about it. But the receivers stay wide, so the defense, if they come in to tackle him, he throws it outside on the bubble screen.
We used to see a lot of that last year in West Virginia with Pat White. When they're so good at running the zone read, that's just one of those extra plays that you can put in the playbook.
This is Johnson trying to bounce it, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Andre Sexton, the top tackler on this team, the junior backer from Houston, makes the tackle. By the way, Unger, the center, is back in there.
Yeah, he is back in there. But you know what? It doesn't matter who's on the offensive line right now. Oklahoma State has to match what Oregon's defense just did. They've got to go in, break service, and get their offense back on the field.
Break service. Jesse, we got our man.
Finally, it's only taken us to the bowl game, but we finally got him.
Well, you two guys, I got Mr. Wimbledon on the left, and I got Mr. Dr. Seuss socks on my right that goes to tennis matches.
Dr. Seuss?
He does every week.
3rd and 8. Masoli steps up. Fires at the last minute. A clutch first down completion across midfield to Scott. He gets up, wants to have words with Jacob Lacey. Officials separate him.
For college football fans who follow it coast to coast, Russell Wilson at NC State's a baseball player that this guy reminds me of. Now, Masoli's a bigger guy than Russell Wilson, but watch his footwork and how he gets him around to make that throw with a dart.
And the ability to create and keep the play alive, and also running to his left, throwing the football as accurately as he did there to convert and get the first down.
This is LeGarrette Blount. The big guy hasn't really been a factor tonight. He's rarely carried the ball. Muscles ahead for 6. A clutch conversion. You said Oklahoma State has to make a play on defense, and it was Scott coming up with his 8th catch to move the chains.
And this is a great time, I think, for Oregon to start giving LeGarrette Blount the football. You're in the 4th quarter. Start wearing this Oklahoma State defense down, because at 230 pounds, that's exactly what he does.
Well, the problem you got at Oklahoma State, you can't roll the dice. If you blitz against an option offense and you don't do your job, it's a touchdown.
This is Blount using that big body. He's also got great speed. He's got the corner. LeGarrette Blount muscled out inside the 5.
LeGarrette Blount, for a big guy, also has a lot of shiftiness and runs so well in the open field that allows his wide receiver to set the block up.
Mark Lewis, the right guard. Watch what he does here. This is outstanding work by the right guard of showing how to get containment, blocks. I'm trying to draw on the ISO monitor. That gummit, I'm fired up. Coffee kicked in.
You like it when the big uglies make a nice play.
I was drawing. It just looked good to me only.
He's drawing on my screen over here.
The run sets up a 1st and goal. And they give it to Blount ahead. Still fighting. Stopped at the 1. Yeah, you sense that conversion that they got, that catch by Scott. Real backbreaker for this Pokes defense.
Means a lot for the Pac-10 right now. Pac-10 pride on the line against that Big 12 South.
There's this sneak. There's Blatnick, the defensive end, getting in there.
Jamie Blatnick, number 50, out of Salina, Texas, my hometown. Jamie's a good kid, good player.
Played football in high school with your son, huh?
He did, yeah.
Huge play here for Oklahoma State's defense. If they can stop them and force Oregon to kick a field goal, keep this thing a 1-possession game, that is enormous.
But they got the enormous body of Blount to stop right
here. And even if Blount got stopped here, you think Oregon might go for it anyway on 4th down, go for the kill shot.
Solely to Blount. No signal. Touchdown. He lost his hat, but he found the end zone. Didn't make much of an impact, guys, did he, for the first 50 minutes of this game, LeGarrette Blount?
No, but it is a different impact that he brings to the football game. It's that physicality, and oddly enough, he set this up with a long game-breaking run, but you just see the strength. I don't know if he got in there, guys.
His fanny was down on the ground. The football was not across there.
He's down right now. He's down. Yeah. If it's not the 1-yard line, it's the half-yard line.
Is being reviewed.
Yeah, and they'll review it. His helmet was taken off there. Patrick Levine stopped him. If they go by that angle, you say they'll spot it short of the goal line.
And then what do you do if you're Oregon? If they do spot it short and it's 4th down, you give it to the big guy one more time, or do you take the points, make this thing a 7-point ball game?
I'm asking you.
That's a full yard. It's a full yard.
No, really?
I think the football there.
Inside the 1, don't you?
Yeah, do you? Okay. It's not a touchdown.
So 5.5 to play. You have the chance to get it in the end zone if you can make a yard. Go up by 10. You gamble?
I gamble. I put it on my 230-pound back and say, you know what? 4th try from the half-yard line, if it's spotted there, make this thing a 10-point game, 2-possession game before heading in. How much money does this guy have?
Not enough to buy that last touchdown run.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
He's going to have to get with the Zebras in a hurry.
Yeah, he's done so much for the folks at Oregon, contributing so much money to the university and the athletic department as well. They have facilities that are mind-boggling at Oregon. Of course, they got Boone Pickens on the other side.
Yeah.
Billionaire tail of the tape.
Yeah.
After review, the runner was down short of the goal line. It will be 4th down at the 1-yard line.
As expected, Blount ruled down before the goal line.
And they're going to go for it.
There was no hesitation, huh?
No, none at all. LeGarrette Blount on the field. Jeremiah Masoli, Jason Williams, Terrence Scott, they all come.
So here it is. The Cowboys defense can make a stop, get it back down 4, or the Ducks offense will give them a 10-point lead.
That's marked on the 1-yard line.
This is Blount. And he doesn't get it. He's still alive, but the Cowboys swarm him, and a huge goal line stand by Oklahoma State.
That's who's alive. Oklahoma State.
They stopped a 230-pounder twice.
They stuffed Oregon's offensive line. Penetration beats you on the goal line. If you beat your man and don't let him score with you, you're going to stop the running back.
We talked about it was Oklahoma State that was supposed to have problems in goal-to-go situations scoring offensively. Here you're right, Craig. That defense just wanted it more. Came off the ball, exploded, and was able to stop the progress of a 230-pound tailback 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Jeremiah Price came off the edge. Tongatea was the big guy filling the middle. So the Cowboys, who earlier had a 99-yard touchdown drive, take over on the 2. Robinson from his end zone, thought about throwing. Now, at the last second, gets rid of the ball to Pettigrew, very close to the line of scrimmage. It's complete for about a 9-yard pickup.
I'm sure I'm going to try to get in the head of Mike Bellotti right now. Mike Bellotti's probably thinking, look, if I'm up by a touchdown with a field goal, they're going to go score.
Right.
We're not going to stop them. Nope. There's a chance if they score late, they go for 2 to beat you, but they're going to go down there and score. So I got to get up more than a touchdown on them.
You only have to go 98 yards. You put it in the hands of your defense, which has come up big at times tonight. Robinson pressured and overthrows Pettigrew.
I don't think Des Bryant is in the game right now. He wasn't on the last series. No. And, you know, when Des Bryant's not out there, the game changes. Somebody else has to step up and make a play.
Aaron, what do you have?
He's been trying to plead his way in to let the coaches, let the medical staff, let him go play. They've told him, no, go sit down. For a while, he was sitting on the bench with his helmet on, his arms folded. He's not happy he's not out there.
You see him put the gloves back on there? He wants Banley to be out there. He's already set a Holiday Bowl record with 13 catches in this game. Robinson looks short and underthrows Anium. And it's just a different quarterback when number 1's not in there, don't you think? He doesn't look as comfortable.
Because all of a sudden that primary target isn't there automatically every snap. He's not necessarily looking for Des Bryant.
He's lobbying hard.
He's not on the field, that's right.
He's lobbying hard. He said, look, see, I can move my knee. I got the gloves on, coach.
Jesse, you've been there before when you've lost your number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, you've got to readjust.
You got to just have trust and confidence that the other guys can get the job done. You don't have to try to protect them with throws. That looks like what he's trying to do right now.
Yeah, but no other receiver had more than 16 catches this season. There was a one-man show at that position for Oklahoma State. Robinson just 1 for his last 5, needs 10 on this 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. It is, he throws, and it's incomplete. Robinson took a big shot. They brought more than they could block.
Absolutely. Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, several times tonight, when you didn't expect it, brings the pressure.
Makes it easier to bring that pressure again without Des Bryant on the football field, because if he's out there and you're playing cover 0 and nobody's back deep, Des Bryant breaks 1 tackle, he's gone.
It was Jerome Boyd, the linebacker, who hammered Robinson. A big 3-and-out stop for the Oregon defense. And Bird fields the punt, takes it back inside the 45. So after the Cowboys defense made that huge goal line stand, offense couldn't move it. Robinson has taken some punishment tonight. He's had an impressive game. He's surpassed his head coach in the all-time total offense category at Oklahoma State, but hasn't been enough yet.
Well, the numbers have deteriorated throughout the game for Zach Robinson, in part because Des Bryant wasn't there for some of that game, wasn't there 100%, but also give Oregon's defense a lot of credit. They've been able to put a pounding on Zach Robinson, and I personally think that's had an effect in the way he's been throwing the football here late in the game.
This is Masoli, keeps it. Navigates through traffic for about 7. There's some of that punishment, Jesse, you talked about.
Yeah, and as a quarterback, big hits, you can shake them off, you can get back up and play the next play, but I guarantee these stay with you. It doesn't matter at what point in the game they happen, you'll carry them with you until the final whistle blows. He's been very, very gutsy. He stayed in the pocket, but he has taken some monster
Does it stay
shots.
with you mentally or physically more?
Both, but I would argue mentally for a lot of quarterbacks. Hanging in the pocket in those slow developing plays, you think twice sometimes. Your vision comes down, starts looking at pressure.
Well, that's where leadership on your team comes in, though. Somebody has to go over and pick him up and make a play physically and emotionally work with him.
Masoli, he's stopped in the backfield, could not spin away from Swanson, Miller, and Levine.
They were going to throw that ball back across the field. Well, this here was set up nicely.
Well, did you see LeGarrette Blount coming back there? He had his hands up in the air. I'm not so sure LeGarrette Blount thought that Jeremiah Masoli should have pulled that football.
Well, and you know what else? I'm sitting here watching that play as well, and you talk about Jeremiah Masoli being young, trying to make things happen, not managing the game where he should.
Pokes spend a timeout. 3rd and 6 coming up when you come back. Now, a little more than 12 hours from now, Capital One Bowl Week right back at it, noon Eastern Time, Houston and Air Force. Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl, Gaylord Hotels Music City Bowl, BC and Vandy, and then LSU and Georgia Tech in the Chick-fil-A Bowl in prime time.
I tell you what you want to do is you want to make sure you stay outside, a nice gap responsibility here, because Jeremiah Masoli will definitely pull it and run it and hurt you like he's been doing the second half with the option.
Yeah, big play here. 3rd and 6. Ducks not in field goal range. Can the Pokes get him off the field? Keeper. 1st down. Pretty simple. You could see it coming, but they couldn't stop it.
It's a great play call by Oregon. Chip Kelly offensively anticipating 2-man coverage on defense from Oklahoma State. Again, it's man-to-man. Watch all these defenders with their backs turned to Jeremiah Masoli. They have no idea where the football is, and that's why he's able to run and get north.
Oklahoma State had spent the timeout in that series, so it becomes even more crucial. They can bleed it down to just about the 3-minute mark before snapping this first down play.
It amazes me that you understand Oklahoma State does the number one play of what their offense is and what they do best, and you still can't stop it.
This is Blunt. LeGarrette Blunt into the secondary. Hurdles a man. Muscles his way to the end zone. He waited a long time to make an impact in this game, but the big 230-pound junior college transfers take it over in the 4th quarter.
That time they made Masoli give him the football. They probably wish they had him.
That was an athletic play for 230, man.
It's amazing to watch, and we've seen him do it twice now on long runs. He's such a good runner for a big guy when he gets in the open field.
And it's going to be his team in terms of the tailback position next season. Johnson, a senior. LeBlanc has another year here if he chooses to stay. You assume he would, and he needs to learn how to practice better, but he's a big-time game player, isn't he?
He'll be good, LeGarrette Blunt will be, as long as Jeremiah Masoli is running the option like he is. It puts so much pressure on the defense. We've seen it time and time again where he gives it and fakes it and takes the ball. Look at the vision, getting down the hill, and the blocking. And then you got 230 pounds pushing.
You know what? He ran right over, turtled over Quentin Moore. The guy had gotten flattened by himself.
I swear these big running backs are conscious about that. You look at guys like Beanie Wells and LeGarrette Blunt. They know when they get into the secondary, all those DBs are going to be submarining and going low. How many times this year have we seen Beanie Wells hurdle guys? They can do it when they're that big.
A lot of guys
Nobody
no
in the
Sean
second.
Moreno's done
Absolutely.
it.
Brandon Jacobs does it in the NFL. No one wants to tackle these guys low.
All right, we're giving a lot of praise here to Oregon's offense, and they're earning it, but the real praise should go to Oregon's defense. The last 3 quarters, 8 stops in 10 possessions. This Oregon defense stepped up today. Nick Aliotti, he had a game plan and a way to go out and slow down and stop Oklahoma State.
Yeah, the Pokes had almost 200 yards in the first quarter. Since then, much more effective job of the Oregon defense.
When you say stop them, they have 452 yards and 31 points.
And Bryant's injury certainly was a big part of that.
That's the way the game's changed.
This is Victor Johnson, and the freshman out across the 25. So an 11-point deficit now with 2:56 to play.
Boy, I tell you what, when you look at Masoli and his 16 for 106, the last 6 games he's averaged 90 yards a game on the ground and 250 passing. Jeremiah Johnson got most of his carry and yards on his first run.
Well, how about this now? They run for 385 yards against Oregon State. They get another big day today. LeGarrette Blunt now over 1,000 yards. It's the second time in Oregon history now they've had a tandem 1,000-yard backs since it happened with Maurice Morris and Ontario Smith.
And Jeremiah Masoli, the quarterback, breaks the rushing record for the quarterback at Oregon.
Unbelievable.
Des Bryant down here at the bottom of the formation has talked his way back on the field. That's a very low throw from Robinson. He's looked off lately.
But you see, you can tell by his body language, he's not 100% physically there. He's got his left hand on his lower left back. You know it's sore, it's aching, and it affects the way you play, mentally and physically.
Okay.
You wonder. I mean, Bryant wasn't able to get his coaches to put it back in there in the previous series, which is much more crucial than this one.
I know he wants to, but he doesn't have it. He doesn't have his legs. You can't play the game without your legs.
Pettigrew makes the catch in a short gain. And clock ticking inside of 2:45 now.
In this part of what you talk about, Mike Gundy saying the future's bright for us. We're a young football team. He doesn't have anybody else right now really ready to step up.
Well, he said depth right now is a big problem on the team. He thinks that the 22 positions, 14 of them, he has a true 2 deep. They got to build more depth. They'll do that with recruiting. They'll recruit well again, but this is a team without question to look out for next year in the Big 12.
Well, that guy's back. Hunter's back. Robinson's back. Here's an option look, but Robinson will be stopped short of the first down as a flag comes in. And stops the clock with 2:11 to go. Brandon Blair got the face
Personal
mask.
foul. Presby the face mask. 88 defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And remember, 11,
bucket ready here.
11 points down, a little over 2 minutes. This Oklahoma State offense coming into the game 26 times they scored in less than 2 minutes. I'd be careful about that bucket right now.
Absolutely.
I'd leave it alone. I wouldn't revisit Kentucky LSU.
This time Robinson keeps it on the option again. Mike Bellotti trying to close out his 4th 10-win season. There'd never been a 10-win season in the history of Oregon's program until Bellotti got there. He's the dean of Pac-10 coaches, and in the time that he's been a head coach there, since '95, you guys realize that there have been 4 head coaches at UCLA, Washington, Stanford, Arizona, 3 head coaches at SC, Cal, Arizona State, Oregon State, and Wazoo.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Robinson throws deep downfield, underthrown and almost intercepted by Thurman. He's trying to get it to Neal.
Well, you know what I like and respect about Mike Bellotti? He's done it over a period of time. He's done it the right way. He's changed with times. He replaced Gary Croton 2 years ago with Chip Kelly, and I thought, oh boy, this offense is going to struggle for a while, but he picked the right guy.
Yeah, but at least 3 head coaches for every other program in this conference. Bellotti has said perhaps 1 more year, perhaps 2, not longer than 3 before he moves to the athletic director position. And Chip Kelly takes over. Now they can begin to get the bucket ready, you think?
Well, and to finish off on that deal, Bellotti's even telling recruits now, I might not be the head coach at the end of your time, but I'll still be around as the athletic director.
Yeah, they dump it off the toast, and he's dumped for no gain. AC Matthews, Patrick Chung combining. Where you give up 31, as you said, close to 500 yards, and you can still feel great about your defensive effort.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, but it's true, though. I mean, you play these spread offenses, these prolific offenses, that's the mindset you have. You come in, you know they're going to score points.
It's a deep ball over the head once again of the receiver.
And I thought it was a real good matchup here tonight. You had the number 2 Pac-10 team out here. You had somewhere in the number 4 range, maybe, of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Right? And there was the Pac-10. You could sense those players over, couldn't you? That there was a little pride on the line for them.
Well, I think both teams were hungry and wanted to be here and wanted to win this football game. You see now the guys getting it ready. They wait till 4th and 10. It's a smart move.
They better wait and make sure they get them off the field right here.
Yeah. Takes only 1, believe me. This Oklahoma State offense, they can score quick.
Robinson just chucks it downfield. Bryant pulled up lame on that route. He was well covered anyway. Now you can get the bucket ready for Coach Bellotti. Oregon will get that 10-win season. And he will get wet.
You know what I like about what Mike Bellotti told us? He said this game was the conclusion to the 2008 season. He says a lot of coaches talk about the bowl game being the first game of next year.
Yep.
He says those are usually coaches that are trying to change something. There's nothing to change here at Oregon. They got a great thing going on. I really like that attitude from Mike Bellotti.
I reflect back to last November. We're doing their game at Arizona. And Mike Bellotti had a football team about to put it on Arizona. Dennis Dixon got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Their quarterback, or they'd have won that game. They were number 2 in the country. They had a chance. They were right there to play for the national championship. He's rebuilt, regrouped. He's got 10 wins.
Yeah, you got to give, I think, Chip Kelly an enormous amount of credit for working with the quarterbacks. They've had, 4 or 5 different guys play the position this year.
The guy Masoli had no reps in practice at all before the opener. Zero experience. What a way to cap things off as the Capital One player of the game.
And really the good news for Oregon heading into next year, whether or not Jeremiah Masoli is the starting quarterback, because we've talked to Chip Kelly and he says, hey, this job is wide open next year. Nate Costa comes back. Darron Thomas. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
right. I watched him throw the ball in pregame. Thomas is a freshman out of Texas. The kid looks great. So competition is what makes you better.
But Jeremiah Masoli has played so well here now in the final 4 games of the season. Great momentum. If he is the guy heading into next year.
Pretty good start to the bowl season for the Pac-10. They'll go to 3-0. And Mike Bellotti does secure the 10-win season. 20 years after he walked off a winner as a player in the Holiday Bowl, Mike Gundy will come up short tonight. Now we got 73 points out of this game, but I think the defense made a bigger impact than we expected, especially the defense in the black uniforms.
I go back to Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator at Oregon, and how well they played and how he was able to make stops. I know they gave up a lot of yards, but when you stop 8 out of 10 possessions in the last 3 quarters, that's doing your job.
When the game's on the line, and it helped that Dez Bryant was nicked up and wasn't 100% either. At the same time, give Oregon credit because they went out, they forced the turnovers and forced crucial stops at the most critical juncture of this football game.
Yeah, that's 5 second-half touchdowns for the Ducks after being held to just 7 points in the first half. They rushed for 307 yards tonight. It was a 3-headed monster rushing attack, and as the smoke from the pyrotechnics wafts across the field, a really satisfying end to 2008 for Oregon. And a lot to like about Oklahoma State. They did still exceed expectations this season, and a lot to look forward to in 09.
A young football team. Mike Gundy said the next building stone for his program is consistency. I totally expect next year for Oklahoma State to show up and be a better football team.
In the meantime, Aaron's with Coach Bellotti.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And Coach Bellotti, joined by his family, very emotional. Coach, you are as well. I have to ask, what's going through your mind right now?
Just really proud of our kids. Awesome. Going to miss our seniors. Got a great staff and a great group of people, and that's nice to win out for them.
Absolutely. You know, you told us as we were preparing for this game, it's going to come down to a big defensive stop. And when I talked to you coming out, you know, into the second half, you said, hey, we just got to settle down and focus. What changed for you guys in the second half?
Well, we got some big plays. The kickoff return on the very first play obviously got us back in the game, settled the score. We got some stops on defense, which was really important, and we took some time off the clock offensively. We actually matched them score for score once we got ahead.
And Zach Robinson just didn't look the same after you guys were able to get to him and hit him so much. Why were you able to get the pressure you were able to?
Well, we got him when he got outside the pocket on that one option play and laid a pretty good lick on him. He didn't have his great receiver to go to it, but I think, again, the pressure, we found ways, I think, give Nick Aliotti his defense credit. They came through.
Jeremiah Masoli, I mean, you were just going on and on about him. This guy had no experience, and he comes right out in the second half, leads you all the way down in the end zone. I mean, what can you say about him?
Well, we talked about we recruited him because we thought he was a great passer. We didn't know how great a runner he is, and he's a tough son of a gun. He's faster than people think, and he's stronger and more difficult to take down. And he ran over, around, and through people today.
Finally, we know that this was a very emotional game for your players, yourself, the family of Todd Doxey. What would you like to say about that?
Well, we talked about being here to start the season with a funeral and being here at the end, hopefully to honor his memory in the best way we could, which was to play well and win the football game. And I think we did it for Todd, and Todd is here with us today.
Enjoy this with your family, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aaron. I think that's a big part of the emotion for Bellotti, the hometown of Todd Doxey, the player who tragically drowned in July. And it was a trip to this city for about 12 to 15 Oregon players and Bellotti and some coaches to honor his memory. And now they come back 6 months later and honoring it a different way with a victory in this bowl game.
Heartfelt, good man, good staff. Had a great season with you guys. Enjoyed it.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
We thank Phil Dean, Mike Schwab in the truck, Marty Aronoff, our spotter Mike Black, who's off to the Music City Bowl. Yeah, it was a shootout. It was a lot of fun. Oregon wins it. SportsCenter's up next. We're over on ESPN News for post-game extra. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, for our entire crew here in San Diego. So long from the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, and good night from now from San Diego.